Hello everyone, I'm Kevin Hund.
And I'm Cottage 409.
And she doesn't want to be here.
I really don't. I don't know. But we have to do it. This is the final thing we have to do before,
we can upload the anime and then subsequently,
the anime.
V3. So...
I forgot about the anime.
Oh no!
I was in a blissful existence for a minute.
Shish past me. Don't talk. Don't talk, baby. I was like, can you make sure that, the audio is, like, not too loud? Or if you can even hear it.
No.
Can you even hear it at all?
Oh, hold on. I'm kind of quiet, but other than that, it's fine.
Well, you're kind of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna turn you up. Let's wait 5 minutes for that to pass. Can you hear the music at all or no?
Oh, let me turn it up louder.
Because I don't want to have it too loud, but I also don't want it to not be heard at all.
Shush, shush, shush. Hold on, let me actually turn Google Chrome up. Because
Okay. The troubleshooting is part of the process here, guys. You may stare at this,
Oh, okay, you can hear the music now because you turned me up.
Okay.
Because before you couldn't hear the music
no.
and you couldn't hear me, so now you can hear both. Okay, we're good.
Hold up. I forgot one important addition. Hold on.
This novel is 200 pages long.
Oh my goodness! What? It's just an ordinary Krabby Patty. Oh my goodness!
I remember this being long, but I think it was this long.
Oi. I've made it through longer, though. But, hold on.
I mean, I've read the entirety of Cursed Child, and so have you, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah. Let me see. Image. Make source visible. Not sure what that source is. Very quiet. Danganronpa. In case you didn't know. Okay. This is entirely necessary to have on the side. I'm just gonna wait until you get caught up with that.
So I already have the
Oh, there it is.
PDF open.
No, just look at the stream. You'll see it in a second, probably. Okay, I think now we're set to get started here.
Yes.
It was completely necessary to have this GIF running the whole time, so
Yes,
at least it gives the people something to look at.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Did you try to chroma key the stuff out of it, or is that just how the GIF is?
that's just how the GIF is. I didn't chroma key any of it.
Okay. Okay.
I could maybe try to do that, but I don't. I think it's
No,
fine
it's
like
not
this.
worth it. Yes, it's fine like that.
I think it's fine like this. This is the way I found it. I knew it existed. I just had to go find it real quick.
Yes.
I wanted it in the thing anyway, so yeah, here we go. Let's get started with some Danganronpa Zero with
Okay.
Dance Monokuma in the corner. So I guess we'll just go, I'll just do the usual narration. Danganronpa Zero, Volume 1, Chapter 1. Oh, does this have narration? Who should narrate?
Well, this is just for this first chapter is just from Junko's perspective.
Well, should I still narrate it then?
You probably should. I'll just do the voice lines.
Okay. Can I narrate it in that voice?
No, that's what I wanted you to do.
Okay.
I'm like, either this is gonna be all Junko or all Monokuma, and last time I took it when you wanted it, so now you take it.
Okay. Junko and Oshima despaired. Everything turned out just the way she expected. Everything turned out just the way she hoped. And so she despaired. I guess that's a line that's red, by the way. I like how there's no indication for that.
Yeah, there's no quotes, so that's
No.
so that's just part of the book, yeah.
Okay. Wait, no, I think that's a... Oh. Wait, is there quotes later on?
Yeah, there's quotes later on.
Oh, okay. Oh? Is it really that easy? Magma-like heat boiled up deep inside her stomach, gradually swelled inside her body, and exploded when it reached her chest. Ooh. The explosion escaped her heart and reached every muscle in her body, bringing her to a complete standstill. The sound of splashing water came from the muddy pool she stood in, as droplets of water danced through the air. On closer examination, one could notice the water was red. In fact, it wasn't water at all. As soon as her body stopped moving, the red droplets of water came raining down, making grotesque patterns on her skin and clothing. Her clothes painted deep red with blood, her skin painted deep red with blood. Her face painted deep red with blood, even though, you know, blood's not red in this world. I mean, where have you been? Nevertheless, none of this caught her attention. Instead, she started tapping her foot I can't even talk anymore. Foot. Impatiently. It was a magnificent tap. She put every bit of strength, body, and soul she had into it. Her entire existence. And then, after tapping for a while, Junko Enoshima let out an annoyed yell, as fierce as a roar of a feverish, rampaging beast.
But that's not enough!
A scream echoed through her surroundings, the noise pouring down as if it was a rock shattering into pieces. But she wasn't done. She continued to scream.
More! I need even more! Despair-inducing despair!
She continued to tapping her foot intently. Intently, okay. Despair-inducing despair. That was what she was after. She wanted not only for the world to despair, but also despair worthy of her own self.
More despair-inducing despair.
She stopped mid-thought. Something clicked inside her head, and she stopped moving. Her face froze in a surprised expression as she stood petrified, as if every muscle in her crimson-painted body stopped working. Then, she let out a whisper.
Oh, I see.
A series of gears and switches began moving deep inside her skull, sparking pitch-black thoughts. A certain object floated up inside her mind. A face. It was a face she knew, of course. The face of a fellow student at Hope's Peak Academy. Or did you want to do that laugh?
No, you do it. It's okay. It's not as fun when I do it.
No. I get way too much enjoyment out of it.
Yes.
Cream my pants every time. The body shivered as she started laughing. The shiver gradually spread to her entire body, and then she started stabbing her foot again. Stabbing her foot. I can't talk. This time, her tapping resembled a dance. She tapped her foot like a girl who couldn't stop feeling joyous. A girl who couldn't help having fun.
Oh, it's wonderful, so wonderful!
What the fuck is even going on?
I have no fucking idea, honestly. I really don't get it.
I like how this is like way too pretentious already.
I have no fucking idea what's going on.
And, as the face of the person destined to bring her so much wonderful despair kept floating inside her mind, her heart overflowing with a strange feeling that almost felt like love, Junko Enoshima danced to the rhythm of despair.
Oh, it's going to be so magnificent, this despair. I have no fucking idea what's going on about. I really don't. And I've read most of this.
I also like how she's just doing this because, you know, that's in character.
Yes. Well, it is actually in character.
Well, fair enough. Also, I need to pop out the chat just in case. Nobody has shown up, but just in case. And oh, there I go. Pop out. That's better. No. If I could stop struggling with my windows and figure out what window goes where. There we go. Let me just resize this little bugger. Okay, we're all good. Alright. Laughing ecstatically. Okay, well, we're just gonna pretend that, Control F replace, Ultimate despair, Junko Enoshima continued dancing. She danced as if she was losing her mind. When is she not losing her mind? That was the beginning of a story that ends in despair. Do I just keep reading it in this voice? Because I can.
Why not?
Chapter 2. Hope's Peak Private Academy, an exclusive government-sanctioned school accepting only students with exceptional abilities. Its stated goals to raise the future hope of the nation. Oh no, excuse me. We gotta do it this way. It stated to raise the future hope of the nation for that, and for that reason, it became known as the Academy of Hope. I just need like a soundboard. It's a source of envy, and it's common knowledge that one can gain great success in life just by being a Hope's Peak graduate. Certainly many Hope's Peak graduates are now employed in high positions in every field of the professional world, so that statement is not an exaggeration. There are 2 requirements to becoming a Hope's Peak student. One must be currently enrolled in a high school, and one must super excel at their field of expertise, excuse me. Hope's Peak doesn't hold the entrance exams. Standard entrance exams. The Academy insists that the things tested by these kinds of exams are meaningless for its purposes. Instead, students are scouted by the Academy staff who serve as both educators and researchers of extraordinary human ability. Some say Hope's Peak Academy... I'm not gonna do it for every time Hope's Peak is mentioned, because that's gonna kill me. Hope's Peak. Faculty members are much like parents, who made it their life's mission to find and nurture in the children. Right now, every member of that extraordinary faculty, as well as the Academy itself, is facing an unprecedented, unparalleled crisis. Hope's Peak Academy's faculty building is located in the Academy's eastern quarter, and is the only building on the campus students are forbidden to enter. The corridors of that building, usually busy with staff members going back and forth, were now empty and engulfed in a natural silence. The laboratories, the private rooms, and the luxurious personal offices had been all abandoned. Every man and woman who usually occupies these locations were gathered in a single place. Meeting room 13. Are we suddenly bringing 13s into this? like that's the number you picked. Hope's Peak Academy's largest meeting room is located on the top floor of the faculty building, has a maximum capacity of over 300. Nevertheless, with every single faculty member attending, it was fully packed. Not a single empty seat remained next to the long tables lined across the room. But for such a huge crowd, the room was relatively quiet. Only a single person's voice could be heard. The voice of Hope's Peak Academy headmaster. Okay, maybe I am doing it every time. Jin Kirihiri. He faced the assembled faculty members from his position at the foremost table, and read from a printout he held in his hand. He spoke in an unaffected tone of voice, a blank expression on his face. The words printed on the paper came out of his mouth as if he was nothing more than an automaton reading them out. As far as Kirihiro was concerned, that was his most important duty. It didn't matter how ordinary the subject at hand was. No, he didn't have any time to waste with the current state of confusion and unanswered questions. If they had time, there are much more important things they should have been doing. A voice suddenly rose from the crowd.
It's just some person, it doesn't matter.
Time to bust out the random voice generator. No, not really.
Yes.
Are you saying we are going to cover it up? Kirihiri raised his head and saw 300 people staring at him intently, waiting for a response. 300 people staring at... Okay, no, I gotta point this out. 300 people. Does Hope's Peak have more staff than it has students? I mean, I know the reverse course exists, but, like... There's more staff here than, like, the main academy has, like, students.
Yeah, no, most of the staff are probably for the reserve course students, yeah.
Well, true, but, like, I would still think that's very funny, and I still think that's a bit much.
I don't know. I don't think Kodaka knows how many faculty members a school usually has. So he's like, what's a good number for faculty members of a pretty major school? About the same number of Spartans that went to war.
Yeah. Oh, how about Order 6? Man, that sounds like they don't really get that many orders. Oh, I know. How about Order 66? Okay, I'm done. Moving on.
Yes.
Anyways, it wasn't a piercing state. It was much more uncomfortable than that. 300 people stared at him as if they were one entity, and Kiryu felt every hair on his body tingling. He turned his head toward the 4 people sitting to his right, trying to escape the state. They were stationed at the same frontmost table he was, their faces unusually wrinkled. Their eyes were closed, making those wrinkly faces even wrinklier. From Kiryu's position, it almost looked like the 4 faces in front of him. In front of him was one huge giant wrinkle. What is the writing in this? It is one huge giant wrinkle.
I have no idea.
The 4 members of Hope's Peak Academy's steering committee looked as if they were about to give up. An unintentional bitter smile appeared on Kiryu's face. And so that's how it's going to be. Oh well. It's not as if I expected anything. Oh. I like how this just isn't read in quotes, but alright. With those feelings inside his heart, Kiryu turned back towards the crowd and stared. He put the paper aside and was going to use his own words from now on. What voice does he have? Does he have a voice?
Jin Kirigiri? No, he's never had a line before.
Oh boy. I think he had a line like in voiced dialogue. What voice should he have? Oh no, I know. I know how we deal with relatives. I just have to wonder if I can even like do anything like that. Okay, so hold on. Let me make it perfectly clear. He emphasized. Oh, he emphasized. Excuse me, I forgot that I think I had a bit of despair in my throat. We reached this decision after putting a lot of thought into the matter, at Hope's Peak Academy steering meeting that took place earlier today. He felt the temperature in the room turning tepid. It was probably because every faculty member's body had grown stiff in attention, and stiff elsewhere. Kiryu sipped from the cup in his hand and continued. We understand, of course, how extremely irregular this decision is. The wrinkly faces that were part of the we he had talked about, as he was... Wait. The wrinkly faces that were as much part of the we he had talked about as he was, did not move an inch. It was as if they knew from the very beginning he was going to take the situation into his own hands. Make no mistake, we are not covering this incident up to escape responsibility. If I could end it all right here and now by simply taking responsibility, I would do so in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, this particular incident cannot be dealt with that easily. It doesn't even matter. If each and every one of us takes responsibility, we're dealing with a problem that exists in an entirely different dimension. Kiryu stopped for a moment and finished his glass of water in a single gulp, trying to remain calm. People...
Yeah, that's the definition of calm.
People like ice juice, right?
Ice juice.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think we are completely blameless here. If we were, that parade out there would not be taking place right now. Yuri pointed a finger at the curtained window. Several people turned to look at it, a severe expression on their faces. That parade has been growing larger and larger lately. The people in it think we're all despicable. Their opinion is not completely unfounded. Kiryu passed and moved his gaze across the room, looking at each faculty member, and faces as if what he was about to say was personally directed at them, individually. Nevertheless, I refuse to believe Hope's Peak Academy's thesis, the talent itself is humanity's first and foremost hope, is wrong. You must realize that if information about this incident leaves the walls of the school, we are likely to lose it all. As far as I'm concerned, there will be a gigantic loss for the... Okay. Apparently we got something in the game. Yeah, for the human race. I know, I just laughed because the music suddenly had a, an interesting, song play.
Oh.
Every one of our successful graduates I've spoken to feels the same way. As at the mentions of Hope's Peak's graduates, the crowd stirred a little. That's the reason I and the members of Hope's Peak Academy Steering Committee reached our decision. We concluded that this incident shouldn't be made public after all. We took a peek at the old men, but they all remained still. Their blank expressions made it look as if they were going on did not concern them. This song is loud. And kind of obnoxious. What is this? I'll skip it. The chapter 0 ends. Okay. Speaking of hope. Anyways. Oh, climactic reenactment for this. Okay. Let's go for it. Now I feel like I have to do it in this voice. Won't feel right otherwise. Okay. We're on the next page. As I said before, I know more than anyone how irregular this decision is. Nevertheless, we have a duty, both as educators and as scientists. The duty to protect talent. Should human talent become the target of public hostility, it would be a great tragedy. Furthermore, there's one more thing I want you all to remember. The 300 faculty members waited in attention for Kirigiri's next words. In attention?
Yeah, that's correct.
That seems weird. I've never heard that phrase be used.
No, it's correct. It sounds funny, but it's correct.
I'm sure it is. I'm just saying I've never heard it be used.
Yes.
The crimes they committed may be terrible, but that doesn't change the fact that the student carries a special brand of hope that we raise all on our own. This fucking guy.
Yeah, he's kind of a weirdo.
Oh my god. The color of the faculty's eyes changed in an instant. It did not stir anymore. Everyone sat in complete silence. No one objected. No one could object. His words were narrow-minded, but they reflected opinions of everyone in the room. They were all acting as both educators and as scientists, researching human talent, and just like any other scientist becoming obsessed with their area of research, the staff of Hope's Peak Academy were obsessed with talent. Obsession did not share. Anyone who did not share that obsession did not belong in Hope's Peak. That's why they listened to Kirigiri's words and made the decision. They had to protect their thesis. They had to protect the future they believed in. And they had to hope. They had to protect the hope they believed in. And so, they would do their best to cover up the worst incident in Hope's Peak Academy's history. Oh, it already happened? Okay.
No, okay, no, just so you're not confused. It's not all of the Reserve Source students killing themselves, it's the student council killing each other.
Yeah, okay. Oh, so this is the worst incident, but the other one will have an even worse name. Is that why it has like an over-the-top name?
Specifically, one is the tragedy of Hope's Peak, the other is the tragedy. I know they have the same name, but it's confusing.
Yes.
But yeah, specifically, they're talking about all the student council members killing each other. That's what they're talking about. So I just wanted to make that clear in case you were confused.
Yes. Okay. I figured that's what they meant, because if we already... No, I figured that's the one they were talking about. I figured if we started, like, after the other one, then I don't know what the hell would happen. I don't think you could
There's no way to cover that up.
Sir, do you have about 1,500 bodies lying over there? No? I mean, why would you think that?
Hey, look, my son's a Reserve Corps student here. Like, what happened to him? Oh, that one? No, we turned that one into a monster. No, he's actually...
Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. He's fine. He's fine. We turned him into a monster. He caused all this.
This story's stupid.
Well, when you put it like that...
But no, that's not actually what they're doing.
We make a mockery of masses. We don't actually.
No, just this story's just very ridiculous. It's easy to poke fun of.
Ooh, but we're about to introduce the best character here. A yellow cat peeks out from the thicket on the side of the pavement. Best character, yellow cat.
Yes.
It slowly stepped on the swaying grass and into the road, waving its long tail as it turned its eye in anticipation towards me. The narrator. Oh, I think this is. I think this is you.
Yeah, no, I didn't know if you wanted to keep reading or not, but I'll start reading now.
Okay. Well, I mean, if it's from an I perspective,
it's from the main character.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it switched to I actually.
Yeah. No, that's what. No, it said me, but like, so I was like, wait, at the narrator? What are you talking about?
At Monokuma.
Ooh. Oh, I can't blame the eyes for being on me.
Having skipped merrily down the road towards it, I must have thought I was about to trample it. I escaped back into the bushes in panic, but I didn't care at all. I bathed in the light of the hot sun and let the wind flutter my skirt and continued to do my obscene merry skip down the road. I was in Hope's Peak Academy's eastern quarter, near the courtyard. Many newly built facilities lined up around me, as well as several that was still under construction. As I skipped down the road and twisted between them, I took no special notice of any dirty catter of my classmates, studying and fraternizing all around. Nor did I derive any happiness from the light touch of the sun after a long stay indoors. No, I skipped down the road with nothing but the destination in my mind. Not that I'm the kind of girl that goes skipping around thoughtlessly. I had a reason. I'm going to meet the boy I like best in the world. That said, my reason may have been a good one, but no student in their right mind would go skipping down the road in a campus of a school of as Big Academy.
I had a lot of trouble with this too.
Look, guys, I know that you guys want like accurate translations, but that's not how English works. English doesn't work like that. God! Therefore, it wasn't surprising that other students who happened to walk by looked at me oddly, but that really has nothing to do with me. Nothing in the world could stop my skipping. Not a crying girl, not a couple fighting, not a student in a wheelchair that has to come to a standstill, not even an anemic student who has fallen down. Wow, you're a dick.
Also, I know what they meant, but I gotta make fun of it. Not a single fighting, a couple fighting.
One thought alone moved my body. I want to meet him. I love him so much. I skipped so obscenely that no one would probably find it surprising if I suddenly sprouted wings and flew up towards the sky. But I continued down the road and... I suddenly came to a stop. Which way should I go? I looked around in confusion and realized I didn't have any of the landmarks around me. My heart started beating loudly. No, everything's fine. I calmed myself down and removed a notebook from the backpack I was wearing. On the back page of the notebook, the following sentence was written. You're looking for the neurology lab on the 3rd floor of the biology building in Hope's Peak Academy's eastern quarter. Felt a refreshing wind of relief pass through my body. Yeah, that's right, the biology building. Oh, but where is the biology building anyway? My heart went noisy once more. Everything's fine, no need to worry. I nervously flipped through the notebook as if I was acting on instinct, and my eye stopped on the page with a crude drawing of a map. Above it, the following was written. This is a diagram of Hope's Peak Academy's eastern quarter. Well done, me! Without thinking, I struck a victory pose. Soon, I was standing on the raised edge of the fountain that decorated the center of the courtyard, comparing the buildings around me with the map. Literature building, science building, physics building, arts building, math building, PE building, linguistics building, staff building. As cold droplets from the fountain kept hitting my thighs,
Important detail.
Kodaka. We're losing you, Kodaka. Come back.
We're losing him.
We're losing him. I looked for my destination, the biology building. Also, what fountain splashes on your thighs? Is she, like, in it?
No, she said she was standing on the raised edge of it. But you shouldn't stand on... Why are you standing on the fountain?
Why is she could fall into it and then ruin her notebook, and then she'll die.
Because, like, you could say, like, oh, well, she had, like, a better view, but, like, it's only, like, half a foot.
If that.
Yeah.
I looked for my destination, the biology building, as if I've never visited it before. Ah, it's right over there.
Also, okay, no, I gotta stop this bitch right here. Like, is she just this stupid? Because, like...
No, we're gonna get to this. There's a pretty good reason why she's like this.
Okay.
We're gonna get to it.
I was about to say, like, I hope that she's not, like...
No, it's not that she's rock stupid. There's a good explanation.
Okay, I was about to say, like, because, like, we've had some rock stupid characters before, but, like, I feel like, because, like, logically, she would be at least, like, third years or so, because, like, or third years here.
Second or third year, yeah.
No, it would have, well, oh yeah, it could be second, because technically I think that the people from the second game were 77B, so excuse my French.
Yeah, no, so she's probably a junior though, probably. But she could be, she's anywhere between 16 and 17 basically.
But yeah, that's why I was like, oh my god, please don't.
Like, she's a junior in high school and she's this stupid? No.
Okay.
She's not actually stupid.
Okay. Because I guess I was just getting the wrong impression from this, because she seemed that way, kind of.
I won't bother explaining it because we're gonna find out in like 2 minutes, but yeah,
that's fine.
There's a good explanation.
I just wanted to be like, oh, is this really what we're going for here?
Oh, is this really the narrator of this whole fucking book?
I was like, I can see why this is a long-ass book.
Yes.
This book was made to order, but it wasn't to be read.
I found the square building identifiable by its light green walls. It looked exactly like the note about the biology building in my notebook described it. Right! I jumped down from the fountain's edge and started running. Some boys in the area looked at me in surprise. Maybe my skirt flew up for a second.
Kodaka, we're losing you!
During my vigorous leap, but it really has nothing to do with me. Anyway, I must reach my destination before I forget. My ferocious dash led me inside the biology building, where I soon discovered a flight of stairs at the back of the lobby. I didn't lose momentum for even a second as I ran up the stairs to the 3rd floor. When I reached it, I ran down the corridor, checking the signs next to the doors lined on its walls. Finally, at the very end, I found the sign that read Neurology Lab. I hastily stopped in my tracks. After a quick breath, I checked my hair and my smile in my hand mirror. Yep, cute as always. Flashing the same wonderful smile and shouting, "Gay!"
It sounded like you just said gay.
Gay! That's how I greet people in the morning. I opened the lab's door. That's when it happened. Something flew past my ear, making a wind-cutting whooshing sound. Eek! I turned my head in panic and saw a blade embedded in the wall behind me, still vibrating from the impact. I jumped back. Well, why is there a scalpel flying through the air? I screeched. I didn't quite screech that, but... That's the guy I was talking about earlier. That's the secondary main character.
Okay. Don't shout!
with the comma not inside the quotation marks.
Yes.
A chiding voice answered from the back of the lab. Also, the A should not be capitalized. The moment I heard that voice, my heart started to beat faster. Thump, thump, went my heart as I turned and looked inside the lab. A boy was laying on top of a bed installed in the center of the room.
You're late. That's unseemly for someone as ugly as you.
A dirty white shirt was sloppily thrown over his body. He was lying face up, and his face concentrated on a thick manga magazine he held in his hand. He didn't look at me once.
Okay, like, I know this is a series of, like, casual murder everywhere, but I love how, like, it's also, like, a common thing for characters to, like, just casually, like, attempt to murder each other anyways, like, even with, like, outside the context of the fucking killing games. What is with that?
Yes. Yeah, he's a weirdo.
No, but, like, in general, like, what is that with the series?
I don't know.
And here we have a picture.
And that's what they look like, basically. That's the dude on the left is the secondary main character, and then that's Ryoko. We haven't got her name yet, but that's
good.
Her.
Free.
And I forget what the dude's name. Yeah, he doesn't wear shoes. He's allergic to shoes. He's one of those characters.
Oh, good. I also like how she only has one leg. That's a joke,
yes,
by the way.
Only one leg. Yes.
No, there's just Teru's punishment music.
Oh,
Oops.
wonderful.
Spoilers, by the way. I should probably not do that. I forgot, but I think people watching this shouldn't be watching this, like...
No, nobody would be watching a Danganronpa 0 reading without playing at least the first and second game.
Okay. I hope not.
Because, like, you shouldn't read this before playing the second game, even.
Yeah, okay, hold on. I'm gonna edit the video real quick. I just put spoilers for the other games. Die! I put DR1 plus 2 spoilers inside, so that should be good.
Yes.
I was about to say, what live stream offline? Better not be. I like how you got to stare at the fucking feet the whole time, so... for people who are into that kind of stuff, you're welcome. And now, without further ado... You're also too loud for someone as ugly as you. Speaking of, someone as ugly as you should be... You being scared of flying scalpels is weird too.
Okay, like, I'm assuming he just keeps using the same phrase over and over again, but when you translate it like that, it sounds clunky!
Yeah.
Guys, like, I know translating is hard, but, like, that's sloppy.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second! I stopped him, my voice showing signs of panic. I could report you for discrimination if you keep calling me ugly, you know.
Who are you going to report me to? I was actually gonna... Don't be stealing my snarky ass comments before I can say them, asshole. Don't like it when you do that. I was gonna say the ugly police, but...
Yes.
The National Japanese Ugly People Association? That kind of organization would be guilty of discrimination just by existing.
Well, she can report you to a fucking teacher, asshole. Yeah. The manga reading boy who kept calling me ugly was the person in charge of this neurology lab, the doctor in charge of my treatment, my childhood friend, the boy I like most in the whole world. He's the ultimate neurologist, Yasuke Masuda, I think.
I like how... What kind of friend is this? Like, I don't know if that's like a culture thing, or like...
It's definitely an anime trope where the guy's like, "Oh, I hate you," and the girl's like, "Oh, he's so cute." Well, then again, that also just happens in media in general. But
well, I guess, but like...
That's a very fiction thing.
Yeah. It's also a very toxic thing.
Yes, no, if your relationship resembles anything like this, they're an asshole.
Seek help.
Yes. Oh, I see! You're a member of the organization, aren't you? Is that why you're so angry? Oh, that's her. That's him.
Oh, I see. You're a member of that association, aren't you? Is that why you're so angry?
I'm not even ugly.
On second thought, you're right. You aren't ugly.
My chest swelled with pride and I flashed a complacent smile. That's right. I even checked my mirror just now.
That was an and, but that's okay. You're super ugly.
Super ugly?
You're so ugly. You're like Ugly McUgly. That's your name.
My shock was considerable, but it didn't take me long to recover enough to come up with a sharp response. Liar, I'm not super ugly. If anything, I'm a world-class cute. Oh, I thought it was a world-class cutie. Whatever. Matsuna-kun continued to ignore the fuss I was making. Garbage gun. We're gonna call it garbage gun.
That's an inside joke.
Yes. If you're wondering, long story short, one of our friends got his dad. The car broke down and they were near like a dumpster basically, and so as our friend was waiting for like AARP to come,
anything to happen,
like anyone to help, he was like taking videos of the dumpster and the cone, and one of them was like Cone Chan and the other one was Garbage Kun. So that's like an inside joke that like makes no sense, but yeah. He was really bored, and so he made up Garbage Kun. And
it was funny at the time.
Yes, it was funny at the time.
And we occasionally expand the mythos because eventually we found a dumpster that said Trash Daddy.
Yeah, so that's Garbage Kun.
No, that was his father.
Oh, yes, his father. Yes.
Or a lover, you don't know.
Yes. I don't care what the world thinks. Ugliness is subjective, and I'm free to make my own oh, excuse me. That's you.
Oh. I don't care what the world thinks. Ugliness is subjective, and I'm free to make my own judgment.
He said, as if the matter at hand didn't concern him at all. So, tell me where you think I'm ugly. I'll go fix it up in surgery, I said in desperation. Is it my eyes, my nose, maybe my mouth, maybe my eyebrows?
You forgot to mention your heart.
But I can't fix my heart in surgery.
Is that so? Poor you. Honestly, you're beyond help. Both your face and your brain aren't good. I think you have some success if you make yourself an object of sympathy, though. Go stand in front of a train station and beg for change or something. I'm sure you'll make lots of money.
I dropped my shoulders crestfallen. I let my hands drop to the floor and my body droop limply. I was beaten up. That's him.
Ugh!
No, you skipped the by the way.
Oh. By the way, who are you?
I raised my head in surprise at his unexpected question.
I can't really tell just by the voice.
Are you saying you didn't know who you were talking to until now?
It's your fault. You never told me who you were.
I didn't, but you can recognize me by my look, can't you? So he wasn't even looking at her and he was still calling her ugly?
Wow, what an asshole.
Well, why is he so mean? You can't recognize me by my look, can't you? See, it's me!
I don't have time to look at you.
Oh, I lost my place, I'm sorry. Oh, said Garbage Kun, still absorbed in his book.
We're really gonna call him that every time now.
Yes, because he's garbage.
He is kind of garbage. I just got to the interesting part.
You don't have time, isn't it just a manga magazine?
So what? If you're going to ask, what's more important, me or the manga? The answer is always the same. It's the manga.
I see. Well, if the answer is the same as always, then that means the manga's more important to you than me. That's cruel. I didn't want to know that.
That's a fine observation, but please just answer the question.
Okay. Pressured, I took the notebook out of my backpack once more and observed its front cover. Ryoko Otonashi's Memory Notebook. As soon as I saw that title, I remembered. I remembered my own name. It seems my name is Ryoko Otonashi?
I know only one person stupid enough to be not sure of her own name.
I think you're talking about me, probably. Matsuda-kun
Sigh.
had a big sigh.
Huh. Huh! So you weren't someone suspicious after all.
Are you trying to say you threw the scalpel earlier because you mistook me for someone suspicious? Or something?
Exactly. I'm not the kind of person who just throws sharp objects at acquaintances after all. Only blunt objects.
I pointed my index finger straight at Matsuda-kun. I mean, before you confirmed who I am, you told me I was late and I was too loud for an ugly person. That's proof you knew who I was.
Smack.
Oh, I thought he hit her. Matsuda-kun loudly slapped his magazine shut. He leveraged the bed's cushion to jump out of it and walked briskly towards me until there was almost no distance between us. That's him.
What? Why?
He looked straight into my eyes. My body caught her by the second.
You remember that?
Huh? Matsuda-kun clutched my shoulder strongly with both his hands. He pushed his face close to mine. Do you excuse me.
Do you remember? The 21st night of September. And me calling you ugly when you got here.
Yeah, slowly. Seeing Matsuda-kun push so close against me, with such a serious expression on his face, made my heartbeat increase tenfold. I think so. I guess my condition's a little better today. Just as the tone of my voice was started to warm up, he released his hold on my shoulders and turned around to face away from me. Then, still looking away, he whispered as if talking to himself.
Is your condition really better? Or is it worse?
What do you mean?
It's nothing.
Matsuda-kun shook his head and began speaking in a commanding tone.
Go lie on the bed. We have to begin today's treatment.
With my mind still reverberating with the beats of my heart, I moved my backpack and set it aside. Then I lay down on the bed occupied by Matsuda-kun just till a few minutes ago. As I let my body soak into the soft mat, my nose was filled with the scent of the sheets. Matsuda-kun's scent. I sniffed his scent and felt the remains of his body warmth engulf my body, and felt happy as if he was lying next to me, hugging me softly. I laughed an instinctive, happy laugh.
Is something funny?
Matsuda-kun grimaced and gave me a hard look.
He forearmed grimaced. I realize it's the way a dung beetle laughs. But even you are one. But even though you are one, it's just too gross. Can't you at least try to laugh normally?
Yo, 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 yo.
What's normal about that? That's even grosser.
Shocked, Matsuda-kun rolled a trolley noisily from the center of the lab. On top of it were several complicated, important-looking machines. He pushed the trolley up onto the bed, said,
"Here we go,"
and started operating one of the machines with a tense expression on his face. I found myself staring at him work. Silky soft hair, long almond eyes peeking through it, long feminine eyelashes, a pointed jaw, small pale lips, long white fingers.
"Stop looking at me, ugly. It's creepy."
And a sharp tongue. That's right, that's my Matsuda-kun. I rolled on my side and wrote a note in my notebook.
You don't have to write down everything, dung beetle.
But if I don't write it down, I forget it all.
Exaggerated sigh.
Oh, yes.
Honestly, your brain's like a bottomless bucket.
A bottomless bucket. It wasn't another one of his cruel jokes, it was true. I forget everything I see or hear after a very short time. I don't know the reason. If I ever knew, I've forgotten it. But whatever the reason may be, my forgetfulness is not normal. That I'm certain. It's not like I'm forgetting things because I want to. There's a sickness in my brain, right? I can't help it, so be nice to me.
No, I don't think we can just call it sickness and be done with it.
Matsuda-kun shook his head lightly.
The human memory is a complicated thing, and there's much that we don't know about it. It's still very much in a black box. Your situation isn't just a simple sickness that can be dealt with like any other.
As he explained, he stuck suction pads all over my head and my face. The cords running down from the suction pads were attached to the machines on the trolley.
There's part of the human memory we call the episodic memory. It stores your personal experiences, what you see and hear. The area of your brain is responsible for it is called the hippocampus. It's a school for large mammals. If something goes wrong there, the brain experiences difficulty in creating and storing new episodes. So it only has reruns, is what I'm saying. It's a famous old example about the patient who had a hippocampus removed in surgery and lost all ability to form new memories. After that happened, there's been much research done about the exact role of the hippocampus in relation to the memory. That said, even if your hippocampus is malfunctioning, you won't lose the ability to remember or learn procedural memories, tasks such as riding a bicycle or using tools. You won't remember the episodes, suddenly the music changes, related to those tasks though. For example, you may remember how to ride a bicycle, but you won't remember how you came to be able to learn how to ride them. That's it in a nutshell.
Also, that's more or less basically true what he just said, in case you're wondering. But
Yeah, yeah, but I like how we just got a science lesson.
Yes.
Let me lay some
because,
science
like,
on you.
No, like, in case you people wondering at home if that's actually how it works, like, Godaka's not, like, pulling that out of his ass. No, that's actually true. That is literally true.
I guess he's not Rocky about it.
Like, it's a little bit more complex than that, but basically, you get short-term memories that are either forgotten
Also, I'm
or
gonna clear
filed into long-term
my throat,
memories.
keep talking.
Yes, and the hippocampus mostly does that. There's some other parts of the brain involved, but it's mostly that. And what he said about forming procedural memory is also true. Even if your hippocampus is damaged and you can't work more long-term memories, you can learn how to do muscle memory, basically, because those are two different things. So that is correct. That's entirely correct what he just said.
Okay, good. I also got the badger out of my throat, so it's fine now.
Yes. But yeah, no, I just wanted. I find memory forming and creation in the brain. I find that very fascinating. So I'd be the one to be like, "Hey, that's not true," but no, that's actually true.
So where were we? Right, hippo school.
I see. So even though I'm very forgetful, I still know how to read and write in my notebook. I held the notebook in question with both my hands and nodded thoughtfully. Ryoko Otonashi's memory notebook. That notebook was memory itself for me, my one and only indispensable trusted item. For as long as I have it, I can probably live a normal life, much like regular people. That said, it seems like the school's a little late in accommodating the memory challenge, so I'm still facing many difficulties on that front. For example, during exams, it's forbidden to look in notebooks, so it's caused my grades to plummet and got me suspended from... I got suspended from school! I yelled. child, looking up from the notebook. Just because my grades are bad, that's not fair.
You should be glad they haven't kicked you out completely. I had to negotiate with the school to make that happen. Also, I gotta point out something here. I like how she has forgotten how to do, like, or how to make her way around school, which you'd think would be an earlier memory than, like, him existing.
I feel like that is excusable because you remember people and faces differently than you remember, like, places.
Alright, that's fair enough then.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point that out, because I was like, is that how that would work?
Like, it's implied she's known him, like, I think she said that was his childhood
oh,
friend.
they were childhood friends, never mind. I thought they met
Yeah, so she's known him her whole life.
Okay, no, that makes more sense then. Never mind. Okay, moving on. That wasn't a plot hole.
Yes.
I just thought it was for some reason.
Yeah, no, it sounds funny, but it sounds like funny, but it's not.
Okay.
You stood up for me. My heart skipped a beat. I'm so happy. You really are fond of me, aren't you?
I just need you here as my research subject.
Nevertheless, Matsuda-kun went out and helped me, and that's good enough.
Your case seems to involve a failure in the retrieval of long-term memory. I think something went wrong with the synapses.
Synapses.
Synapses connecting the neurons somewhere in your brain. But I need more time to investigate the problem thoroughly before I can really understand what's going on.
Yeah, that's more or less her problem, yeah.
In short, you're insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain? I didn't understand most of what you just said, but at least I haven't been expelled. If I get expelled now, where would I even go? I don't have anywhere to go outside this school. I've forgotten everything else. I don't even remember my family or any old friends I may or may not have. If I get expelled, I'll also end up away from you, Matsuda-kun.
Okay, wait. Okay, no, there's the plot hole I was looking for, then. Because how does she remember him if she doesn't remember her family?
Well, because she probably hasn't seen them since she's been in school. Like, she sees him every day.
Well, true, but she's also forgotten everything about the school, so, like, how long do memories last? Because clearly they didn't last between days, because it's implied that she was here yesterday to see him.
No, short-term memory only lasts, I think, about, like, 12 to 24 hours.
But, like, now she's saying she doesn't remember anything from, like, way before either, so, like, I'm not sure, like, how much memory does she have?
I would say her functional memory is maybe about an hour or two at most.
Okay.
So that means that, like, if she were to exit the building right now, she'd be able to probably get back to the fountain, but that's basically it.
Can she remember only 3 things?
Yes, she can only remember 3 things. But no, see, if she hasn't seen her family in, let's say, a week, then she wouldn't remember them. But she sees Matsuda every single day.
I guess that's fair enough.
Like, I know what you're saying, but it is plausible.
Okay.
At least in this world. Like, I know what they're trying to go for here. Like, even if it's not 100% realistic, because I don't think it is, but...
No, probably not.
Being separated from Matsuda-kun was the thing I feared most. My body shivered just a little speaking the words out loud.
You shouldn't worry too much.
Matsuda-kun turned to face me and spoke bluntly.
You're a valuable research subject, and I don't plan to lose you. At least not for the moment.
Oh, sorry. But you might change your mind sooner or later. I'm happy, but I have to remember not to be too much of a burden from now on.
Don't complain. You should feel honored that you're participating in such important research.
Matsuda-kun chided me and continued his explanation.
In order to understand why memory loss occurs, we need to understand the core elements of the brain memory storage apparatus. Once we make advances in that field, it opens the door to a wide array of possibilities, like improving the quality and longevity of human memory, or developing medicine to prevent memory loss. In the future, we might even be able to treat memories like we do data on a hard drive. We'll be able to create devices that back them up and destroy parts of the memory. Oh, okay, I see where this is going. I already see where this is going!
You see where this is going?
I already see where this is going!
Where do you see? Where was it going?
I mean, a big plot point of this series is that characters don't have memories, so clearly he's gonna, yeah. I see where this is going. I guess it's good that there's an explanation for it, but by the time that, like, we came around to being like, oh, well, there was, like, ultimate for, like, everything, I figured that there was already something. I don't know. See, I don't know if you needed this explanation, because I just figured that there was just somebody who could do this shit. I guess we're just being introduced to the character now.
I think an ultimate neurologist was mentioned in 1 or 2 at some point.
Oh, maybe, even.
I think there was an ultimate neurologist that was mentioned. Not by name, but there was one that was mentioned. And it's this guy, basically.
Okay. Well, that's fine, then. I guess we're just here to see his antics.
Yes. I think it's this guy. I think.
Also, here's something I have to wonder. Wouldn't they already have this technology? Because they already fucked with somebody's memories? Or is that just, like, a side effect from lobotomy?
It's the side effect from the lobotomy, I think.
Okay. Anyways, I'll just, We'll use great devices that back them up will destroy parts of them freely. There's already research going on that front abroad. They managed to erase lab rats' long-term memory by manipulating their M-zeta kinase enzyme.
I'm not sure how to pronounce that middle word.
Kinase enzyme.
Kinase. I see! In fact...
You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
But for the time being, I had to be agreeable. In any case, I'm just super happy that I could be of any help to my beloved Matsuda-kun.
Your brain is empty, and so are the words it produces. You really are an empty woman.
1 second.
Alright, that's fine. Let's find a song that's interesting. I've come to the tropics. Oh, I'll have the 8-bit homicide playing, that's fine. I'm still enjoying this gift, by the way. Let's see if we can randomly find another stupid gift to add. Danganronpa GIF. Let's see what we got. By virtue of being Nagito, I don't really care about that one, but I'll download it anyways. Tenor. This is a pretty good one. Any other good ones? I'm trying to find something interesting, but there's a Monokuma one again. Oh, that one's even better. Okay, hold on. No, I think that's about all we've got. Okay, so that was pretty fruitless. I'm gonna have a gif of Taka crying because it's that is useless. Oh, I didn't mean to close that. Okay. So time to add more useless shit to this thing. Clearly we gotta add this. Hold on. It's all worth it. Clearly, I'll just chroma key out the entire thing.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I had a 10-minute fucking conversation with the Home Depot guy.
Oh. Alright. Do you want to share it with the class later, or like...
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay. Well, I won't. We'll just ignore it. I'm just gonna add some more useless shit to the stream, and I'm gonna be done with it.
Are we still streaming or no?
I'm still streaming, yes.
Oh, okay, no. So basically, we got like those Ring doorbells, you know, for like insane people. I'm just kidding. They're actually pretty cool. But like we can't put it on the door frame because the door frame's plastic and screws, and we can't put it on the siding, and that's where she wants it. We live in a trailer, because that's just what we live in, and you can't screw siding. Like you can, but you shouldn't. And so we have nowhere to put the damn thing. So.
Yes. In the meantime, I've just been I was looking for other useless gifts to add to the stream, and I found a couple ones.
Hi, Jill.
Yeah. It's just that. Clearly I was gonna have the one for Nagito with his eyes spinning now.
Yes.
This stream just has to be very useless, but I had to do something while you were gone.
I'm sorry, I didn't make it take so long.
That's
Again,
okay.
I had a very useless 10-minute conversation with the Home Depot guy.
Yes. When are they gonna add that stage of Smash, by the way?
Yes. Anyway,
that was
where were we?
Dumb thing from the last thing. Let me see.
Oh, I didn't understand if he was serious or just making fun of me, but that's just how Masuda-kun is. He always insisted I should take care of myself. He may be cold to me, and he may be blunt, but he doesn't treat me with fake sympathy. It's depressing when people do, so I'm grateful for his attitude. I may be empty, but I'm still super happy. I raised my voice, refusing to be discouraged, but Masuda-kun's reply was almost a whisper.
Well, I can't deny you're helping me out here. One doesn't get his hands on such a rare case very often.
Did you say rare? I like the sound of that word. I felt happy as if I was being praised. So what's rare about it?
Well, I like my steak well done, so I don't like rare.
Lol.
Stop acting like a child. Big sigh. I don't want to tell you. You just get annoyingly excited.
What's so wrong with that? Tell me. My insistence finally paid off.
You don't often see someone possessing such a superb, brain-intensive talent as you. Too affected by memory loss. That's why you're such a rare case.
Talent? Brain-intensive? Nothing came to my mind.
It's fine if you don't remember it. It was really irritating when you used that talent of yours. I'm warning you. Don't even try to use it on me. You got that dung beetle?
I didn't quite get what he meant, but his dung beetle comment stung my heart a little bit, so I couldn't help but nod in agreement. Well, I don't really care as long as I get to spend these intimate moments with you, Matsuda-kun. I should be thankful that there's sickness in my brain.
Sorry, I was enjoying the soundtrack from 2. Yeah, sickness in his brain. I told you, it's not really a sickness.
Matsuda-kun stuck even more suction cups to my head, as if he were trying to hide my grinning face.
Nevertheless, it's admirable that you can take this so easily. Your condition is no laughing matter. Shouldn't you be a little worried?
What's there to be worried about?
I mean...
Matsuda-kun said in amazement.
Aren't you worried whether these symptoms are ever going to go away?
His words surprised me. It wasn't like Matsuda-kun at all, asking a question like that in such a serious voice. I'm not worried at all. I laughed, trying to lighten the mood. I mean, the only me I can remember is the me that's lying here on this bed in this very moment. Can't remember anything from before I lost, memory. So it's not like I have anything to compare it to. So I don't see forgetfulness as a disadvantage. It's just a part of who I am.
You don't see it as a disadvantage, but aren't you even worried about how this memory loss started, or when it's going to end?
Not at all. In fact, I'm much more worried if I suddenly get cured that I won't see you anymore, Matsuda-kun. The room turned suddenly quiet. After the silence continued for a while, Matsuda-kun broke it with a whisper.
You don't have to worry.
His voice suddenly dark. He said his voice suddenly dark.
I won't let this treatment end.
I looked up. The face speaking through the pitch-black glare was stiff, lost in thought. Matsuda-kun? As soon as I called him, he straightened up and turned back to me.
No, it's nothing.
He shook his head as if trying to smooth things over. Then he returned to the machine and continued working as if nothing happened.
Well, nothing good can come of being too pessimistic about your symptoms. That's one case where your natural cheerfulness is actually helpful. Can I go back to looking for more useless gifts, except I won't? Is there like a red dot in the corner? Oh, it's gone. should maybe shut off some of these gifs. Actually, nah. There's nothing else to be looking at. It's alright.
You know, you could look on YouTube to find videos of installing the ring. I'm like, yeah, I know. You can look up YouTube videos for anything. She's like, are you on YouTube? Yeah, I am, actually.
Right now, in fact.
Right, yeah.
Go away, Mom. Go away, Grandmom.
Grandma took a homo picture.
Well, with that camera she wants to install, who knows what she'll capture.
Yes. How did you finish your line?
I do think that I did.
Okay. Yeah, my thinking's very flexible after all.
Your head is flexible, that's for sure. You can't even remember your friends or family before you lost your memory. And yet you aren't even slightly disconcerted.
But forgetting them is just like I never had them at all. That's why everyone I forgot. They really do have nothing to do with me anymore. That does no.
Those words again?
Masuda-kun winked for an awfully long time.
If you keep saying those things have nothing to do with you, you're going to end up with nothing left inside.
Oh, I'll be fine. I always have you, Masuda-kun. I stuck my chest in pride. You're the only person I can remember, so as long as you're here, I won't get lonely.
You probably link me with the process of coming here to receive this treatment for your procedural memory. That's why you remember me.
No, it's not it at all.
Yeah, I know.
Said Matsuda-kun, trying to calm me down before I became too flustered. He continued attaching suction cups to my face, stopping from time to time to scratch his chest, which I could catch a glimpse of through the gap in his dirty white shirt. Does he really know what I meant? He probably just said that to shut me up. I don't think he even believed me when I said I remembered him, but it's true. I don't remember him in the usual sense of the word remember, of course, but I didn't lie when I said that I do. I remember Matsuda-kun. I forget him, and yet I remember.
Spacing, by the way.
Conversations or what we did together. For these kind of memories, have to rely on my notebook. No, what I remember is something much more special and important. It's not memories, but feelings. Not using my head, but using my heart. When I remember about Masuda-kun as pure emotion. Every time I see him, I feel the beat of my heart before my head realizes what's going on. The beat tells me one very important thing. For me, his very existence is precious, one of a kind. That's why, no matter how forgetful I become, I will never forget him. There's a connection deeper than memories between the two of us. For me, Matsuda-kun is very special. He's extraordinary. He's a miracle.
Shut up already, will you?
I came back to my senses confused. You heard me? I was about to jump out of bed, but Matsuda-kun pinned my head back down.
You're going to get the cords disconnected. What are you, human waste?
He said cruelly as if I tried to disconnect his cord on purpose. But I never said a word. Were we talking about how loud my heartbeat is? I can't help that. If my heart stops, I die.
I wasn't talking about you. I was referring to the noise outside.
Outside. Matsuda-kun turned up his chin and pointed to the window. When I listened intently, I could hear an unusual noise coming from outside. Jeering voices, angry voices, hooting voices, reactionary voices full of anger.
There's owls outside.
The kind of voices that could make the earth rumble was the assembly of unpleasant voices that can make your face frown instinctively. What is that?
It's the parade. They're getting louder every day.
A parade? You don't mean that, like a parade?
Liar, you don't remember it at all.
Matsuda-kun pinched my forehead and continued explaining, his face grim.
It's essentially a demonstration, but the teaching staff, or maybe should I say the old geezer in the steering committee, didn't like the sound of that word, so they decided to call it a stupid name, like a parade.
Isn't a parade an exact opposite of a demonstration?
That's exactly why they chose that name.
But why a parade?
It's the guys from the preparatory school.
Preparatory school?
That's a word that exists.
I've never heard of such a thing, or have I?
You don't remember, of course. Well, your head is oversized, so I guess it can't be helped.
Wait, calling a girl oversized is sexual harassment. If this was the Edo period, you'd be headed by now. My head, which was all the way up on the bed, was pushed back down.
Hoops Peak Academy is not a traditional learning facility like the other schools. They provide education for the talented, but at the same time, they research that talent. The teaching staff aren't simple educators, they're also scientists who research human talent. But scientists are a bothersome bunch. The more they research, the more they want to research even deeper. Therefore, there's something that they have never enough of, and do you know what that is? Hypocrisy, like what I have, because I'm clearly bitching about scientists, and I'm one myself.
It's probably...
It's money.
Alright! Hello. It's a PDF reader, what's going on? My chance to find the answer on my own was gone, so that's the least I could say.
Up until recently, Hope Seek Academy was a small-scale facility that could survive on government subsidy and graduation donations. The research was often blocked by a lack of resources, though. But the steering committee was not satisfied with that state of research, so they instituted the reserve program, or whatever it was called. That's what they're calling it.
Yeah, just call it the reserve program, because the preparatory school sounds like the predator school.
Yeah. The predatory school.
The predatory school.
In order to bring in some more money.
I nodded enthusiastically to show I was listening.
Isn't nodding like the last thing he wants you to do right now, though? The gist of it is that us Ultimates are affiliated with the main school, but there is now a separate educational facility attached to it, called the Reserve Course. That school is located on the west quarters of the campus, while the main school remains here in the east quarters, so we don't actually intermingle much. Even though I am very much a single Pringle, and I'm ready to mingle. I heard there is not much that's the same over there. They don't scout their students and rely on regular entrance exams to choose among applicants. Wouldn't they just let any dang old person come in because they don't care? Their teaching staff is chosen the same way. All teachers are scientists who work and live at the school, while they have regular teachers coming from outside. Okay, hold on. I gotta point something out here. Our teachers are scientists who work and live at the school. I know this is kind of skipping ahead a little bit, but watching the anime, that ain't true.
What? Okay, so this is written by Kodaka, so that means that is true. That's literally a fact. You can't deny that is a fucking fact. That is a literal, actual fact.
Which makes you wonder why they retconned it.
Directly contradict that.
Yeah.
It directly contradicts that.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Because the anime wasn't written by Kodaka, it was just written by other people, and the other people are fucking stupid.
I'm trying to I read about, like, something, like, he vetoed, like, something stupid, and not, like, a bunch of other stuff. I'm trying to think of what it was. It was something really minor and dumb. Yeah, he said no to something, and I forget what it was. Well, I mean, why wouldn't the background be Sexy Dance Monokuma? What else do you want it to be?
Because Sexy Dance Monokuma.
I mean, I could just have it be blank, but...
That's boring.
It is boring.
So it's just a regular high school, isn't it?
Hold on, I was messing around with everything. Now my windows have disappeared. Okay, there we go. Oh, I remember what it was. It was killing off... Spoilers, Danganronpa was gonna kill off a character. I'm not gonna say which character because spoilers, but... Yeah, it was killing off a Nagito everywhere. Okay, fine. Because you want me to. You're forcing me to do this. I will add the one Nagito gift that I had found while I was looking for them, so there you go. I'm gonna put him up in the other corner. With his crazy eyes. There you go. I hope you're satisfied now. Okay. Yeah, but it was killing off a character, so... I'll tell you which later, but that was like the only thing he said no to, and not a bunch of other stuff.
Anything else?
Yes, but we'll get to that when we get to that. For right now, let me find my place. Exactly. Nevertheless, there was a flood of applications. A brand name is a powerful thing. I forget that I'm not narrating, so you have to
Oh, Matsuda-kun almost spat the words out.
People didn't care that it was just a preparatory school. The prestigious Hope Peak Academy had finally opened its door to the public. People are sheep. They are drawn to a name, and the school took advantage of that to get their money. Thanks to that, the school went to a sudden growth. Sprout? Did you mean spurt?
Yeah, same at spurt.
Like the ones that you fire in? We suddenly have the research buildings that can make the university jealous. No one was prepared for that. Also, you're welcome. I hope you enjoy the Nagito gift. Just in a year or two, Hope Peak Academy became a school of an entirely different scale. The power of the steering committee also grew accordingly.
But that almost seems like fraud.
It doesn't just seem like one.
Oh, a fraud.
No. Either way.
Seemed like a fraud? Oh, well, yeah. Matsuda-kun's mouth twisted in a bitter smile.
Right now, Hope Peak Academy is set up like a third world country's pyramid class system. Okay, Hope Peak Academy is officially a pyramid scheme.
They're selling information to other members of the pyramid scheme.
Yes. He's firing at spurts. Oh, it's gonna hurt. Okay, I thought you were gonna go for the other one, but let's see.
It's firing in sprouts.
It's firing in sprouts. The multitude of students in the preparatory school exist only to support the ultimates in the main one. Also, for the record, we're using the translated names because that's just what we're used to at this point.
Yes, and preparatory school just sounds weird. It's too hard to say. Just the reserve course.
Yeah. It seems they have some kind of bogus system in place for the exceptional students to transfer to the main school, but I've never heard of anyone actually succeeding. Our teachers probably don't think any of them deserve it.
But that's not how educators should behave.
You're right, but it's not exactly how scientists do. It's not exactly how scientists do.
No, it's exactly how scientists do. As in, no, she says that's not how educators should behave. He says you're right, but that's exactly how scientists do behave.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Okay. I like how usually they translate it literally, and the one time that I get confused over it, they don't. They don't care about anything but their research subject. I'm just the same. In fact, it's just that their research subject is human talent.
That's so unfair. I puff my cheeks.
Of course it is. If it wasn't, there wouldn't be any need for demonstrations, would there? But still.
Matsuda-kun suddenly cut his speech short. The tone of his voice changed to a cautious one.
I don't think they could set this all up on their own. There has to be someone else's scheme. That's how I feel.
Matsuda-kun narrowed his eyes and looked out the window. His look was so hesitated to speak.
Hey, ugly.
After a short while, he turned back to me as if remembering something.
Write this conversation down properly in your notebook. Don't brush it off as having nothing to do with you. Those reserve corps students don't think much of us. And they're going to attack you. I don't think they're going to attack you or anything, but it's better to be cautious.
Okay, I understand.
Oh.
Period, and then comma.
Wait, period. Period, and then comma, yes. Oh, I actually don't know the big twist here, I think. Because I know basically nothing about this, so I'm interested to see where this is going, but it's gonna be a while before we get there, because we're at page 21 of 247. It's gonna be a really damn long one.
Yes. I noticed the suction cups stuck to my head and my face were making it difficult to move my mouth.
I need you to stay still for a while. I don't mind if you sleep.
Matsuda-kun stepped away from my line of sight. But I'm not sleepy at all, I replied in an insecure voice. Matsuda-kun's voice answered from the other side of the room.
I can give you sleeping pills. A dozen should probably be enough.
Isn't that a lethal dose? Are you sure that's alright? As my uneasiness grew even deeper, Matsuda-kun appeared in front of me again. He's now wearing a school jacket on top of his dirty shirt.
If something happens to my machines while I'm gone, you're dead.
Are you going somewhere?
Also, in this series, that's a serious threat to consider. I have a little business to take care of. Anyway, if something happens to my machines, you're dead.
It was serious enough to repeat the warning twice. I wouldn't mind being killed if it was you who killed me.
What is wrong with you? It would be troublesome for me. I hate gore.
I didn't think it was such a good quality
specifically.
for someone who studies the human brain, but I didn't say anything. In that case, if I stay here and wait like a good girl, let's go see a movie together.
A movie?
You know the one... I flipped through the pages of my notebook searching for memories about movies. Here's one! It's about two robbers, Harry and Marv, sneaking into the McAllister household.
I want to know if that's what they originally had there, or if that's like a localization thing. Are you talking about Home Alone? It seems you've forgotten, but you've bugged me to see it with you before. And we did. Every Christmas, damn it.
In that case, I continued flipping through the notebook. I couldn't find any mention of any other movies. Seems I was particularly interested in that movie. I could blame myself all day, but it'd get me nowhere. Well, it's a masterpiece, so I'm sure it's still interesting if you even watch it again.
It's certainly not a bad movie, but it's not the kind of movie I want to go watch again and again.
So what kind of movie do you...
Please don't ask me questions fit for a diary of a middle school girl. I'm very specific with my demands.
I felt this distasteful stare glaring down at me, but I didn't give up. Let's do it. If you pretend you're watching it for the first time, it's gonna be fun. I read a little more in my notebook. According to this, I thought the little boy who played the main character, Macaulay Culkin, is super cute. That's in this movie. Isn't that exciting?
And why exactly do you think that would excite me? Also, the actor isn't named. What is this line coming? Also, that actor isn't named as if he was a brand. What?
Okay, Kodaka, whatever you insist. Okay, Kodaka, that's fine.
I can't even read this fucking line. Let's move on.
It says here that I thought he was so cute I wanted to adopt him.
You only say that because you don't know how he looks to... Wow! Okay, Kodaka, wow. You're just attacking the man.
Macaulay Culkin. Hasn't he been through enough?
Oh my god. I like just the sudden attack on him personally.
Yes.
He underwent quite a transformation.
A transformation, huh? Matsuda-kun narrowed his almond eyes even more than usual and swept bangs away from his forehead.
Just be a good girl and go the fuck to sleep.
It seemed he was tired of me trying to postpone his departure. Wait, don't go! Nevertheless, now panicking, I tried to stop him again. I don't want you to go, I'd be lonely. Don't leave me here alone. We haven't seen each other in a long time, have we?
A long time?
Matsuda-kun stopped in his tracks.
Why do you think we haven't seen each other in a long time?
Hmm?
I'm asking why you think we haven't seen each other in a long time.
Matsuda-kun faced away from me as he spoke. His face was tinted with pain and it made me anxious. I could tell by the way my heart was racing, I think.
So if you see me every hour, every day, if your heart doesn't beat as fast as when I'm near?
My computer's... Okay, hold on.
Okay.
No, that's not it.
We did just meet just yesterday, you know?
We did?
It's not surprising that you forgot.
Matsuda-kun's back curled forward as if he was dejected.
I guess you were just lying when you said I'm the only one you can remember.
Oh, wait, I'll remember in a second. In haste, I flipped through the pages of my notebook. I went through all of them back to back, and I couldn't find any memories of me and Matsuda-kun meeting the day before. It was a complete failure. Oh, the font changed for a second.
Oh.
But I looked away for a second. Matsuda-kun was already gone.
Hold on. I gotta do it. Hold on. Give me a second. This is important. This is important to everybody. Okay. Hold on. It's important for science.
Fire Emblem Heroes.
Okay. There we go. We all needed to hear that, clearly.
I've been had, and there's nothing more I could do about it. I guess there really is nothing I can do but sleep. Not that that's a bad thing. At the very least, when I'm asleep, I can lose myself inside my dreams. I can escape this lonely world that doesn't have Masuda-kun in it. I can probably even meet Masuda-kun in my dreams. With that thought deep in my heart, I rolled to my side, careful not to disturb all the cords all over my head, and sniffed the pill that still had traces of Matsuda-kun's scent. I sniffed it as if I was a puppy and rubbed my cheeks against it, purring happily. Are you a cat or are you a dog? Then I
Oh, no, I think she's just a creep. Like, what the hell is this? Stop it,
As
that's
my vision
creepy.
blacked out, my other senses sharpened. Before long, the only thing remaining in my role was Matsuda-kun's scent. No, that wasn't the only other thing. I could also hear voices interfering with my and Matsuda-kun's private world, an assembly of emotional, unsettling voices. Anxiety washed over my entire body just listening to them, so I blocked my ears in panic. It's nothing to do with me, after all. Nevertheless, I couldn't sleep. I felt like my body forgot how to. I want to fall asleep. I want to sleep and tide over this world that doesn't have Matsuda-kun in it. I want to meet him again. Matsuda-kun, 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 Matsuda-kun.
Oh my god.
Matsuda-kun.
It's fucking, it's the same as the last
Big
novel.
Brother Leon, Big Brother Leon, Big Brother Leon.
Oh my god.
Then as I dreamed about dreaming about Matsuda-kun, I slowly fell into a blissful sleep.
You dreamed of dreaming about him. That's kind of pathetic.
Yes, also this is narrated by Garbage-kun.
Okay, I'll just read them. A short while after leaving the laboratory. Oh. Apparently it's not...
Oh, it's third-person perspective from him. So I guess it's Monokuma again.
Okay. A short while after leaving the laboratory, Yasuke Matsuda stood in front of a large door that exuded to a solemn atmosphere and straightened his posture. What are you so nervous about? He wanted to mock himself, but at the same time, realized nervousness was inevitable. It was the first time he'd ever stepped into Hope Peak Academy's inner sanctum, the staff building. It was the only building on the campus, each quarter, that students were forbidden to enter, and sure enough, once he did, he ended up having to explain the situation to several teachers who stopped him along the way. That wasn't enough, though. His final destination, where he played Fox only, was a special in itself a special place, even inside this forbidden building. Matsuda raised his hand and stared at the door in front of him. It was a pretentiously decorated wooden door that gave him the feeling visitors weren't welcome. The metal plate said in it read, Hope Peak Academy Steering Room Committee Meeting Room. This was the inner sanctum's inner sanctum. Even the teaching staff could not just walk in uninvited. Nervousness really was inevitable for someone about to enter such a special room, but nevertheless... This really isn't like me. Matsuda cleared his throat and tried to cheer himself up before he ended up swallowing the whole by the oppressing atmosphere. Then he raised his fist and knocked on the door twice. I'm Yasuke Matsuda from Hope Peak Academy's 77th class. Oh, okay, I guess he's from the other 77th class. Wait. No, 77th class. But wouldn't he have to specify? Because isn't there two of them?
Hold on.
Because I know for a fact that the characters from the second game are from 77B. So is it just 77 by default, and they don't have an A?
Well, the first of something could not be specified, yeah.
No, yeah, that's what I mean, but that's
Specify
kind of
the other
weird.
one.
If you have multiple, just not specify one of them. Unless I'm going to take a sip of my drink here. I deserve that. I deserve a break. Eating pudding with a spoon. Okay, no, I'll just stop calling him Stinko Man randomly. Where were we? He announced, slowly pushing the heavy door open. Excuse me. The room was different from a classroom as a room could be. The ceiling, pillars, and walls were excessively decorated in a way that Matsuda found gloomy. He stepped forward, and the sound of his footsteps swallowed by the thick carpet. We apologize for calling you in here at such a short notice. The voice was surprisingly light and cheerful. It belonged to Hope Peak Academy's headmaster, Jin Kirigiri, who sounded very cheerful. In my impression of him. Every time Matsuda saw the man, he couldn't help but think he was astounded by how young he was. In his mind, the headmaster was a middle-aged man with white hair, a mustache, and a drab suit. Kirigiri, still in his 30s, was too young for the job. I think that's like a misunderstanding, unless that's like a thing in Japan specifically. Because I think anybody can be.
What is?
That headmasters need to be like middle-aged men with mustaches and drab suits. I think they can be any age.
No, that's just what Matsuda believes.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know where he gets this.
Well, like when you picture, like, the way that, like, a teacher should look, do you picture a man or a woman? Like, if you picture what a police officer would look like, you know, like, you just have the stock image of what they would look like in your head.
I guess so.
That's what he's trying to say. Like, the stock image in my mind of a headmaster doesn't look like what Jin Kirigiri looks like. Is what he's basically trying to say.
Well, fine. Please sit down. It would be easier to have a conversation that way. A large circular table stood in the middle of the room. Antique chairs were lined up all around it. Oh. Excuse me, said Matsuda as he sat on the nearest chair, placing him exactly across the table from Kirigiri. The moment he sat down, he felt several pairs of eyes staring intently at him. They belonged to 4 old men who sat around the table at set intervals. Every one of them wore a pitch-black suit as if they were on the way back from a funeral. Their ties were the same color. I like these matching old men. Did they just have a dress code?
That's not creepy at all.
Their appraising glare fell to Matsuda as if somebody was breathing their hot breath down the back of his neck. What is this song? Oh, is this the ending song? I guess I'm gonna skip that in case we're gonna get into trouble over that one. Do you know who we are? The voice was rusty, and Matsuda couldn't tell which old man it belonged to. You must be the members of Hope Peak Academy's steering committee. You have a sincere gratitude for all your help with that incident. I don't know what you're talking about. The wrinkles on the old man's face deepened. Didn't like dodging around the topic of conversation. There's no need to be cautious here. We know everything, one of the old men said. You helped us with the interrogating of the student who first discovered the crime scene, didn't you? Said another. The student who first discovered the crime scene? The second Matsuda heard those words, his heart began to beat faster. He tried to hide it by asking questions of his own. Do you intend to try and get more information out of that student? Not at all. A different old man shook his head. This time we are dealing with a different student. We have a problem, you see. A problem that someone with your skills can only your skills can solve. We are looking forward for your help. He talked as if this was a matter that was already settled, and that was worrying. No, this voice should be, what if I refuse? Can you show me my grandpa? Wow. What if I refuse? A few seconds of silence later, one of the old men started to laugh. It was a quiet laugh at first, but soon the second and third and the fourth man joined, filling the room with scornful laughter. The voices descended on Matsuda from every angle. So, but do older people also use these words? It seems kind of...
yeah, sometimes.
Okay. The laughter suddenly stopped. I just didn't even say it, no, but... Do you really believe you have a choice in the matter? The old man spoke with a condescending tone of voice. That girl you've been treating, it seems like she's on temporary leave from the school. Yet there are any signs she's going to be cured. This time it was Matsuda's wrinkles that deepened as he frowned. What are you trying to say? You're also still a student, and we can have you wasting your time on a dunce with no hope of recovery. His words were overflowing with contempt. The way we see it, we can't keep extending a student's temporary leave when we don't even know when she'll be able to return. The faculty's purpose is to nurture talent.
Those who are too afraid of too much failure use it to simply step down, for the sake of other students. That said, if you agree to help us... Shut the fuck up, old man! What? Your dirty mouth talks too much.
The room's atmosphere changed in a second. The air pressure jumped all at once.
You bastard!
Matsuda stood up and the old man froze. He looked at them as if they were worms. No, his stare was much more angry and full of contempt. He looked at them as if they were worms he was about to trample.
Dunce! Failure! I should have warned you, for I'm the only one who's allowed to make fun of her.
Okay. That's just my response to that.
No one else has any right to.
I also love this music is the most fitting fucking thing. By which I mean, it is not. It is the island mode, like, gathering items theme.
Oh my god.
It's great. I love having a score that doesn't at all match up with that.
Hey, who do you think you're talking to? I told you to shut up!
His tone really did shut him up, and he continued speaking in a low voice.
That girl, even the people who make fun of her, she swipes it off because she thinks it has nothing to do with her. That's why I have to speak up for her. I won't be able to live with myself if I don't.
To the ears of the steering committee members, his word carried an indiscernible sense of intimidation. How can we be so overpowered by someone not yet in his 20s? They did not know the answer. They did not understand the power of someone who possessed talent. The power of someone who possessed talent had. The power of Hope Speak Academy called... I mean, stop me if you see this one coming. The power of Hope Speak Academy called... Hope. May I interrupt? A slow voice forced its way into the conversation. It was Kirigiri's voice. Matsuda turned his coercive stare towards him. It's just that I think it's time for me to say something. Kirigiri smiled bitterly and scratched his head. Despite the nervous atmosphere that filled the room, he seemed completely calm. Matsuda, having lost his momentum, closed his eyes slowly, let out a heavy sigh, and sat back down. As soon as he was done, Kirigiri continued in a quiet tone. Matsuda-kun, we are merely asking for a favor. Not a favor just for us. You can consider it a favor to every student of Hope Speak Academy. Would you like to at least consider listening to what we have to say? Matsuda stayed quiet and looked at Kirigiri, unable to judge what the man's true intentions were. Kirigiri, on his part, tried his best to take back the control of the situation. I won't ask you to do anything other than listen. If you decide to refuse, we will accept your decision. With the preliminaries done, he moved straight up to the topic at hand. Probably do not have to explain to you about that incident, but we should probably still begin there anyway. Kirigiri cleared his throat, clasped both his hands in front of him, and continued. It's been a month, and we still can't believe what had happened. Such a gruesome incident taking place inside Hope Peak Academy. It still feels like we're living in a nightmare.
But it really did happen!
Yelled one of the old men.
13 kids! Screamed another. 13 victims, and all the details of what happened are still unclear. Why did such a terrible thing happen in our school?
When the screaming voices stopped, Matsuda said what had been on his mind.
So, you never informed the police? Of course we didn't. What do you think would happen if we did? What would it solve? It's not a problem that can be taken care of by arresting a culprit.
But what about the victims' families?
We're taking care of that.
Yet another old man yelled without skipping a beat.
You don't have to worry about such things.
Judging by the way he spoke, the Academy had already taken measures for dealing with the families. Like murder. They must have asked some favors from previous graduates. Many of them rose to high positions on the strength of Hope's Peak brand. If that brand falls from grace, they will also lose it all.
You're right. I shouldn't have to worry about that. So what is it you want me to do? This other student you were talking about. They must have something to do with this incident as well, right?
We want you to extract information on that out of that student that will help clarifying the truth behind this incident. Answered Kirigiri. He's got switching voices and getting to me.
Clarify the truth? Isn't that a contradiction? Didn't you decide to cover up the incident?
The cover-up? Matsuda was the only student in the faculty trusted with the secret. In exchange for his cooperation, he was awarded a large research grant and equipment for his lab. That was probably another proof that he was a true scientist. But that wasn't the only reason he agreed to cooperate. No one but Matsuda himself knew the other reasons. Yes, it does sound like a contradiction, doesn't it? answered Kirigiri after a short hesitation. But this is necessary. We strongly believe that hiding this incident is necessary. There is too much we still don't know about. We can't hide something we don't completely understand. That's why I think we must find the entire story regarding what happened back then, in order to protect Hope Peak Academy. This cover-up has to be perfect. Kirigiri said all this without the slightest sign of doubt. He would do anything to protect Hope Peak Academy. He's just like me, isn't he? Matsuda thought. Sacrificing something to protect something else? That's exactly what I'm also doing right now. Okay.
So who is the student you want me to interrogate?
Kirigiri licked his dry lips and gave Matsuda a cautious answer. We didn't tell you this before, but other than the first discoverer of the crime scene, there were 2 additional survivors. 2 survivors? Sure enough, this was the first Matsuda had heard about them. They were indispensable for discovering the truth about the incident, of course. They had all been well... had all been well. We should have questioned them immediately after we were done with the crime scene's discoverer, but because of certain circumstances, we couldn't do that.
Circumstances?
One of them has been in a coma since the incident. The other, thankfully, came out unhurt, but went missing soon after. We do not know where that student is right now. 1 comatose student and 1 missing student. Circumstances were indeed severe, but it was still a possibility.
You want me to try and get information from that comatose student, do you? Don't you?
Kirigiri nodded. Exactly. Finding the truth in order to hide it, it was certainly a twisted thing to do. But it was also very convenient for Matsuda. This is probably my chance. My chance to protect her. Apparently, I'm trying to protect her now.
I understand, he said. He had no other choice. I'll see what I can do. Do you think you can do something?
One of the old men quickly relaxed and tried to regain authority while his voice was kind of dying.
It's still too early to tell. It depends on the student's exact conditions. I will try my best in any case.
Matsuda answered bluntly and returned face to Kirigiri.
What about the missing student? Are you just going to sit here doing nothing, are you?
After a short silence, Kirigiri bent forward and looked straight into Matsuda's eyes. Something worrying you? His gaze was sharp, and Matsuda felt as if he could read his innermost thoughts. Wanting to escape, he retracted quickly.
No, I was just curious.
His voice was shaking, and he continued in an effort to hide it.
I mean, a missing student is far too suspicious, isn't it? Don't you think they could be the culprit who killed 13 students and left 1 in a coma?
The old man immediately started rustling, the whispers reverberating through the meeting room. Kirigiri alone kept his cool. It's just as you say. The way things look, that student's extremely suspicious.
In that case...
In that case, what? Kirigiri interrupted forcefully. It just justifies covering up this whole incident even more. If we don't, it's going to be the end of this school. End of this school? Oh no, but the school hasn't even begun! Matsuda was intrigued by Kirigiri's expression. Does that mean that the student who has gone missing is someone special? A certain name suddenly found itself floating in the back of Matsuda's mind. He had heard that name only in rumors and in occult stories he always thought were urban legends. That person really exists. They may very well be involved in this incident. If that's the case, it all makes sense. It even makes sense calling this an incident the worst incident in Hope Speak Academy's history. Yet. It makes sense, but it's also terrible. A single drop of sweat from Matsuda's temple as he fell down from Matsuda's temple as he whispered those words deep inside his heart. I think this is you. Yeah.
Yes.
Does it just
keep
sweat?
going for?
I want to at least get to like, let's see, like let's get to like, if we can, like 50-ish, because at least that's like a fifth.
Okay. Okay, I was just wondering.
I mean, like, I wish this was going any faster, but like, oh my god, this is a long boy.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Mm.
Sigh, z, yeah. Z.
Yes.
My feet, the sudden pain. I jumped to my feet at the sudden pain of my skin being pulled violently and saw a boy standing at my bedside with a jumble of cords attached to suction cups in his hands. My heart started beating fast. Ah, it's Masuda-kun, isn't it? Not wasting a second, I leaped straight to him. But just like a matador, he nimbly stepped aside. My head crashed into the wall as if I was the coyote tricked by the roadrunner. I could see stars spinning around my head. Were you avoiding me?
Like I just didn't make that noise.
No, I'm not gonna do that. There are things I'm gonna do, but I won't.
Goo 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 goo.
Goo.
No, you did it anyways.
Because you have a swollen face.
You can't go calling a girl's face swollen. I turned my shaky feet and peeked into a mirror I found on top of my desk. My face was packed with violet blue specks of small-sized coins. Swollen, sure enough. Oh, good lord. But that's because you pulled those suction cups off my face so violently, Matsuda-kun.
I was in a hurry.
Oh. I wouldn't mind if you go right there.
I'm not in a hurry because I have to use the toilet.
You know how silly of me. Matsuda-kun never has to use the toilet at all.
What do you even think I am, ugly?
You're the most sublime human being in history, of course.
Don't include me in your ridiculous delusions. Exhales a big breath, as if given up.
Exhaled a big breath as if giving up.
I've had enough. If I keep talking to you, I'd go weird in my head too.
He started tidying up the trolley.
Anyway, I have more business to attend to today. Go home. Go home. Quickly now.
But why? Naturally, I strongly objected to the proposition. I don't wanna, I'd be lonely.
Honestly, you're such an annoying girl.
Matsuda-kun narrowed his eyes and slowly stepped in front of my face. He grasped both my shoulders tenderly.
Close your eyes.
Eh?
Do it. Just close them.
As my heart beat rhythmically, at Matsuda-kun drawing near before my eyes, I did as I was told and closed them. My entire body became hot. I felt as if I was about to melt. The blood vessels behind my ears pulsed violently. This situation could only mean one thing, right? It's a terrible cliche, but what else could it be? It is, isn't it? It is! Then as anticipation made my heart go boom, 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 I felt Matsuda-kun moving behind me. Before I could even wonder what was going on, he started pushing me forward. In a second, I was thrown out into the corridor. Ow! I collapsed onto the corridor's floor with excessive force from Matsuda-kun's shove. It was a small mercy that I had clean underpants on.
Don't push me.
Gets pushed. The next treatment is in 3 days. Be a good girl and stay in your room. Don't go out on needless walks.
Said Matsuda-kun before I could even get up, and then shut the door loudly behind him. Oh, he tricked me. My shoulders drooped, but since there was nothing I could do, I simply left the neurology lab crestfallen. As I exited the biology building, the first thing I did was check my notebook. I had to go back to the dorms, but since I forgot where they were, I flipped through the pages of Ryoko Otonashi's memory notebook as I walked. Eventually, I found the school map. It seemed I drew all by myself. I guess this is a good time to do a full-scale review of my notes and explain the full picture regarding House Peak Academy. Here we go! according to my map, Hope's Peak Academy campus is shaped like a large diamond. It's divided into 4 quarters: east, west, north, and south. Each size is a full-scale regular high school. The East Quarter, which I walk through now, was the heart of the academy, where buildings and facilities used by the main school are located. Many of its buildings were still under construction, but also were several magnificent, envy-inducing research buildings for various fields, like Matsuda-kun's biology building. In addition, it seems this quarter is now also home to the staff building, which students are forbidden to enter. Then there's the West Quarter. It seems the buildings and facilities for the reserve course are located there, but I don't think I've ever visited it. Unfortunately, there isn't much written in my notebook about it. The South Quarter is where the Hope's Peak Academy student dormitories are. In addition, it seems there's a convenience store, a bookstore, and various other shops where necessary supplies can be bought. By the way, it seems only students belonging to the main school are allowed to live in the dorms, and it's a special perk that doesn't even cost money. Then there's the North Quarter, which is apparently vacant. The only thing there is the old school building, which was still in use until just recently. For the time being, it seems it's been neglected, so naturally the entrance is forbidden. In other words, there isn't much to say about it. Finally, at the very center of campus, surrounded by the 4 quarters, is the Central Plaza, a large park-like place overgrown with trees. It's often used as a relaxation area for the students, but it appears entry is forbidden between 10 at night and 7 in the morning. Well, I don't plan on walking around in the middle of the night, so it seems as though it has nothing to do with me.
I like that.
Yes.
It's stupid and it makes no sense, but I like it.
Yes.
I clapped when I recognized the times that you weren't supposed to go places.
And so, the information packed in a hand-drawn map, I managed to make my way to the dorm safely, then ignored the greetings of the students who passed me by the corridor and went straight to my room. When I entered the room, I was met with stickers reading, "This is my room," stuck all around. Yup, this is the right place, no question about it. After confirming this important fact, I stood near the doorway for a while, staring into space. No matter how much I tried, I couldn't think of anything I wanted to do, so I simply collapsed into my bed. Nevertheless, it seems I already took a nap midday somewhere because I couldn't fall asleep.
I wanna bring up something. I like how it says, or like it claims that like the old school building wasn't used, but isn't that contradicting the first game? Because like wasn't it used? And even like in
No, it stopped being used, but Makoto's class boarded themselves up in there when the tragedy happened.
Well, I know that that happened, but I thought it was still being used.
No, it wasn't being used at this point.
Okay, I guess so. I don't remember that.
No, but the game said the anime state that.
Oh, okay.
I think the game state that.
I guess
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
like
no,
universally misremembering that, because I'm pretty sure that like.
No, because in the first game, Hope's Peak was just the one building, but 2 retconned it so that it was the old building, and then there were 2 new buildings.
Oh, okay.
So 2 kind of retconned it a little bit.
Okay.
Because one was the new main course building, and then one was the reserve course building.
I thought I thought that was like an anime retcon.
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
Because I thought, like, I know the reverse course building was a thing, but I thought that the second new building was just an anime retcon, because then they suddenly started using that even though they used, like, the old building at the start. Because I'm pretty sure that they did show people being in there.
I don't know. See, the building's too small to fit all of the main students, so they would have to make a new one eventually.
See, I don't think that it would, because they only really have, like, 3 classes. And it's like a regular school. Like, it can house 3 classes. I don't see why it wouldn't.
Well, it could be assumed that the old building is bigger than the one in the game.
Yeah, but even so, like, I don't think, like, even the one in the game, like, I feel like that still could house, like, because you only really have, like 3 years at the time, and apparently, like, years aren't more than, like, 2 classes at most, if even that.
See, I don't remember. All I know is that there's an old building and then there's new buildings. Like, that's what the anime says, whether or not that's wrong. That's one of those things I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's what this states, but I don't think the games did, is what I'm saying.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if that's
because I remember watching the anime and being very confused that, like, suddenly they were in the original building at the start, and then they just kind of switched. Because they were like, well, we built new buildings, so let's use these instead.
And that's what this book says also, because Matsuda just said that they had recently just built the new buildings within a year or 2. of using the old ones.
Either way, I think it's a retcon, but that's fine. Whatever.
Well, I'm not arguing it isn't a retcon. I'm just saying that, like, I think the second game brought it up.
I don't think so, but I'm not gonna argue with you on that because I don't know for sure.
No, because, like, either way, there was a migration at some point. See, I don't know, because, like, there was always a 77B. There always was a 77B. So that means there are 2 Class 77s. So
well,
that
yeah.
means there's 2 incoming sophomore classes, the junior class and the senior class, in that one building. Which is plausible.
Yeah.
Kind of tightly packed, but plausible. And then
it's not even that tightly packed, because there's so many classrooms, and, like, you only have one class at a time. So, like, I really think that the room that they had in the first game was sufficient to house, like, 3 years of students of, like, 2 classes max each. Because, again, that is at most, like, 6 classrooms that you need to occupy all at the same time. Like, the dorms is the only part where it's, like, kind of tight.
No, the dorms is where I'm getting hung up. It's the dorms.
Yeah, but it's implied that there's probably more floors than what they showed, and...
Yeah, no, but that's my gameplay story segregation. Like, there are probably more floors to the
no, I
game
know
than
that
we have
too, yeah.
Yeah. No, so that's my point, is that fitting all of the students and the teachers in that one building might be a little bit of a stretch, but there's probably more than what we see in the game.
See, the actual building is 5 floors. I don't know why the dorm building wouldn't be 5 floors either. Which would be able to house all the students.
Did she mention how many floors were in the dorms here, or did she just go to her dorm?
No, she didn't mention it. No, I meant, like, in the game. Like, you only have the one that, like, the kids that sleep in, and then the one that, like, was the teacher one previously.
Yes.
Like, in the first game. That's what I'm talking about. And so I'm saying is that, like, there probably were enough to house, like... There probably were, like, 5 or 6 floors to it. Which means you would have enough room to house all the students. It's just that, like, in the first game, like, they had all the students there. And they don't show, like, all the in-between floors, probably, because they don't matter. But it's implied that they probably existed.
It shows you what you need to see, but there's probably more there. Again, it's
yeah.
Like what you need to see,
yeah,
programming-wise.
But so I'm saying is that, like, I don't think that anything that they needed... like, what I'm saying is I think the original Host Peak Academy building, like, accommodates for, like, everything they need, as it is in the first game. It's just, like, so, like, I just think that, like reverse course and stuff, like, that was separate stuff, but, like, I feel like everything else could fit neatly in there without any real problems. Other than, like, outdoors activities, but I don't feel like you need, like, a whole separate... Like, I don't think that, there shouldn't have been the second school building for the main course, because that would be a waste of space.
Even if it was an anime retcon or not, this was written before the anime came out, I think. So clearly Kodaka had planned for a second building, is what I'm saying.
True, but I'm saying that either way, whether or not he did, I don't think that really makes much sense, because I feel like that would be kind of a waste of space.
I don't think they needed to move buildings, but they wanted to. Like, they wanted to make subjects for their... Like, basically, this story is like, oh, we got a bunch of fucking money, let's just spend it. So they made, like, big new buildings to be fancy.
Yeah, sure. But, like, I know that they build new buildings, but even so, I don't think that they actually were, like... What I'm saying is I don't think the old building had been, like, abandoned as it has been described here, like, previously. Because I think that it was still being used.
Something tells me you're correct. I think it was still being used. I don't know for what, but I think it was.
Because I think, like, even in the anime, it's shown that, like...
It's still there.
It's... I'm pretty sure that the class, like, spoilers for the anime coming up, I guess, if it matters, but, like... When we see the characters from the second game, like, I'm pretty sure when we first see them, they're in the main building, and, like, halfway through they migrate, yeah, but, like...
Because that's when the buildings were built. The new buildings.
Yeah, but I'm saying that, like, they still started out in the old building, and now, like... I mean, she might just not remember, but the way it's been described here is that, like, it's been, like... not used in... Oh, wait. No, I'm stupid. It says it wasn't used until just recently. Never mind.
I just want to say, like, there's a disconnect here, I think. Yeah.
Okay, no. I like how we had this whole tirade and this is me not reading right. I'm so sorry.
No, because I'm extremely confused as to the conversation. Okay, no, because I'm like, this conversation is weird. There's a disconnect. Okay.
No, I thought she just had said that, like, it had been abandoned for, like, a long-ass time, and that didn't make any sense to me.
No, but Matsuda in the previous scene had just said it was literally only a year or two ago.
But that seems too long. Like, just recently to me is, like a month or a couple months.
Well, he said that the buildings were built. Like maybe kids had not moved yet. That's just the new...
Oh my god, no! No. We can't have the building be abandoned, because that's where the fucking... That's where the incident happened. How...
What incident? Which one?
The one that already happened in this story. That one.
No, the student council one happened in the new building.
Then why is, like, everything outlined in chalk in the first game in the first building?
Because Kodaka doesn't fucking know how to write stories!
like, wait.
Kodaka doesn't know how to write anything!
No, I'm confused. Isn't what I'm saying true, though? Like...
I don't know! I'm confused now! Hold on, let me fucking go on the fucking wiki!
I'm sorry.
I don't know!
Okay, don't scream. It's alright.
Let me see.
I'm sorry.
Alright, hold on. History, okay. No, it's not. No. Architecture, here we go. So, is diamond shaped and approximately the size of 4 regular high schools. Yeah, that's what the book says. The old building located in the north quarter. Yeah, that is the. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Stop. Okay, I see where we're getting confused. The old building was being used until literally just recently. Like, there were new buildings that were built and being used, but the old building was still being used until literally like a week ago because the student council murders happened in there and they didn't want people going in there.
That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense to me.
Okay, no,
that makes sense to me. Okay, so at that point they're just like, okay, let's get everybody out of here. That actually makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, they were using the old one until literally just recently, as well as the new ones, until the student council murdering happened, because that literally happened like a fucking week ago.
Okay, that makes sense, and I'm satisfied with that answer.
Okay, that's a good answer, because that's what the wiki says. That the Trash Speak Academy happened there. In the old building.
That happened. So that makes perfect sense. I'm happy with that. We can move on. I'm so sorry.
Okay. No, because you were confusing me. Okay, no, that makes perfect sense. No, okay, we're fine. We're good.
See, that's what I was confused about, because I'm like, well, like, clearly it wasn't used because that happened. But okay, it makes sense that would be the reason why you wouldn't want to use it anymore.
Yeah, they were still using it until then. Okay. Which, again, is like a week or two ago. In this story.
And my favorite thing is that nobody bothered to clean it up. Like, even when they decided to lock everybody in there, they didn't bother cleaning it up.
Just don't go on the 4th floor.
Hey, I don't mean to be like a bother or anything, but like, do you think we should clean up this Umoi? No, it's probably gonna be fine. Don't worry about that one.
It's fine, Makoto. Just ignore it.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Dude, I think there's a dead body in there!
Oh man, I count at least like 13 dead bodies, man! I can't stay here.
Oh my god, where the fuck were we? Reluctantly, I decided to kill some time. For me, it was killing time means exactly one thing. I took out Ryoko Otonachi's memory notebook and, still lying on the bed, started flipping through its pages. Everything that was written down in this notebook is the undeniable truth, but I can't remember any of it. In other words, it feels like I'm reading a non-fiction book about myself. The excitement of experiencing my own past vicariously, an amazing form of entertainment that only someone as forgetful as myself can enjoy. I read what I talked with Matsuda-kun about and what he told me. Most of the notebook was about Matsuda-kun, but that's exactly what makes it so fun. And then as I continued flipping through the notebook, my eyes stopped at a single page. This page was packed with sketches of a boy's face. My heartbeat wasn't as fast as it could be, but increased slightly with its speed. These are probably portraits of Matsuda-kun, but since my heart isn't beating that fast, they're probably not very good likenesses. Maybe I should try to make some amendments? The nose is all wrong. Maybe it's the eyes? I really can't remember what Matsuda-kun's face looks like, but I used my heartbeat as a measure and carefully took to redrawing the sketches. That's probably how bomb proposal personnel feel when they go searching for landmines. No, I guess it's probably a little different.
What kind of anecdote is that?
I have no idea.
Oh, man.
And so after messing with the portrait for a little bit, I felt my heart beating a little faster than it did before. I did it! I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. If I just continued fiddling with the sketch little by little, I'm sure it'll eventually look like the real Matsuda-kun. I probably did the same exact thing before, I just don't remember it. It's just like working on the sketch requires every bit of my concentration, and I can't keep it up for very long. Tired, I placed the notebook next to my pillow and turned till I face up. Then I started to whisper, I want to meet Matsuda-kun. I want to meet Matsuda-kun. I want to meet Matsuda-kun. It's the only thing I could do right now. Right now, the only thing I could do is whisper deep inside my heart how much I want to meet Matsuda-kun. There's nothing else I can think about. Nothing else I can do. Nothing else I should do. I don't remember anything else after all, not even my family or my other classmates. For me, the people living in the outside world and what they do feels like just watching a boring stage play from the sidelines. I can't treat them like real beings. I don't even feel I live in the same world they do. Noisy classrooms, sweat-drenched PE lesson, festive lunchtimes, stopping to grab a bite to eat after club activities, sitting on the ground chatting with friends, embarrassing conversations with the family. I can't even feel envy or regret that I'm missing these things out. That's how you say that. I simply have nothing to do with me, and that's that. But the only existence keeping me from being entirely cut off from the world is Matsuda-kun, and that's why I can't think of anybody else but him. Not for a second to think about any other thing. I want to meet Matsuda-kun. I want to meet Matsuda-kun. I want to meet... Strange sounds. I came back to my senses. I raised myself from the bed and found a letter shoved under the door. It's from Matsuda-kun! There's a logical conclusion to make, so I jumped and grabbed the envelope and hurried to read the letter inside. Dear Miss Super high school level pitiful forgetful girl, I have all the precious past memories you have so meticulously chronicled. There are a lot of them, and they chronicle your past with Yatsuke Masuda. That's the entire weight of your past right there, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? By the way, if you think I'm lying, just look under your bed. That's where you stored all your memories, but there isn't even a single one left. It's because I took them all. Well then, let's get to the main issue. If you want your memories back, come to the fountain in the Central Plaza tonight at 1 m. Come alone, of course.
Did you say 1M, or did the thing just, like, mess with you? The sound?
Yeah, maybe. It's fine, then. That's all. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. My body stiffened as I read the letter.
Hot.
It stiffened, yet also quivered like a plate of jelly. In other words, I was so disturbed that my previous smile seemed appropriate. A threat? What's going on? I don't get it. But this problem couldn't be solved with a few questioning lines. First, I have to check under the bed like the letter said. When I hastily did so, there was nothing there. To tell you the truth, I don't even remember storing old notebooks under there. But if it really did, and all my past memories of Matsuda-kun were stolen, that's terrible! It means I have left the current notebook I hold in my hand. That's all I have left, just one measly notebook? That's what more than 15 years of memories amount to? Suddenly, a strange feeling descended upon me. Is this what they call a feeling of loss? Until now, the feeling was unfamiliar to the forgetful me. I'm sure people who learn to live with a small wound have always have to endure a certain amount of pain, but that wasn't the case for me. I have no idea how to deal with this new pain I currently felt. For the time being, I was simply angry. Whose idea of a prank is this? My face was so strained and shaky, my fist gripping the letter and crumbling it. Why? Let my thoughts be led by anger. Perhaps this is the work of some sleazeball trying to get between me and Matsuda-kun's love.
God damn it.
I think Matsuda-kun is very handsome and looks cool, so many girls must be after him. For such girls, the going love between us must be an eyesore, so one of them must have succumbed to desperate methods. She took my memories hostage. She's probably going to do something to me once I answer her call. Oh, she's such a mean woman. My anger reached its boiling point, and I was about to erupt like Mount Etna?
Yeah, that's a volcano.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I didn't. It appears I've even forgotten how to be properly angry. But that was just natural. Someone as involved with the world as I am is a stranger to feelings of anger. Therefore, I had no idea how to funnel it. I guess that anger originates in the imagination alone has its limits. In any case, since I couldn't let my anger out, my feelings rapidly cooled down. I guess I'll just have to do is let her ask and think about it later. Having completely cooled down, I laid in the bed and waited for 1 a.m., the appointed time. I read the letter over and over so I wouldn't forget what I was waiting for, and then, as the time approached, but this won't turn into a fight, right? It's gonna be okay, isn't it? Harboring these depressing thoughts, I left my room. Central Plaza, right? I walked down the pavement with heavy steps, checking the map in Ryoko Otonashi's memory notebook. The world at
Every
night
time must
was
read it
asleep.
in full.
Yes, every time. Tonight, I was the only person walking about. I could not sense a single other human being in the area. I did sense the presence of things that were not human, but I should probably not think too deeply about that. To tell you the truth, just the thought of having to go back to my room crossed my mind several times. But leaving my memory stolen did not appeal to me, so my feet reluctantly pushed me forward. After walking a short while, an iron fence came into view. It was set up to block the road I was walking along. According to my notebook, entry to the Central Plaza was forbidden between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. So that's probably why the fence is here. In other words, if I can't overcome this fence, I won't be able to reach my destination. This time, I thought seriously about going back, but at the last moment, I made a firm resolution to start climbing the fence. A few moments later, I somehow managed to land on the lawn on the other side and started to walk around the Central Plaza, looking for the fountain I was told to go to. The darkness deepened. It's probably because this area was thick with trees. The same trees that were usually brilliant, sparkling green under the light of the sun were now painting the plaza pitch black in the starless night. Walked around in the darkness for a while until suddenly my field of vision grew wider. In front of me was a small square. In its center stood a lone street lamp, relatively illuminating its surroundings. Near the lamp, I could see the fountain that I was looking for. The water coming out of it made a cute, soft splashing sound. As I
On my
stood, my
thighs.
consciousness understood, huh?
On my thighs, I said.
Understood I reached my destination. My nervousness increased. I stepped slowly toward the fountain with excessive caution, but after just a few steps, I stopped in my tracks. I could see someone standing on the other side of the fountain. I could only see the upper half of their body peeking out from the shadows under the trees, but I was pretty sure I was looking at a man's back. Excuse me? Boldly raised my voice, but there was no answer. I guess I should get a little bit closer. Leaves rustled under my feet. Nevertheless, the man didn't make any sign he noticed the noise. I continued stepping forward and raised my voice again. Was it you who called me here? Once again, there was no answer. He could not have possibly heard me. He couldn't possibly not have heard me. My body became heavy. A growing sense of dread pushed down on both my shoulders. In no time, my tightly fisted hands were covered in sweat. Nevertheless, the allure of mystery pushed me forward, and the contours of a faint figure in front of me gradually became clearer. I saw a man wearing a suit. His hair was white and his neck was covered with countless deep wrinkles. Suddenly, a gust of wind came blowing by. Sway, 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 sway. The man's figure swayed feebly in the wind. I felt cold shivers all over my body. They felt as if someone touched the back of my neck with an icy hand. I faintly heard a different part of me yelling at me to stop inside my brain. But my feet moved of their own accord, and I approached the man and looked at his face. Our eyes met. My eyes met the bloodshot red eyeballs bulging out of the man's wide-open eyes. His face was pale, and the dark blood vessels on it made an eerie pattern. A tongue that looked like a rotting sea slug hanging from his mouth, raced to the nape of his neck. He was not standing on the ground.
No.
Forgot about this.
No.
Hanging from a rope around his neck. The rope was now swaying slowly in the wind. It was the sight that, just by witnessing it, could snatch every bit of heat from your body. But this is not the time to write down flowery descriptions in my notebook. I should run away. This has nothing to do with me. Drip, drip.
The
As
fuck
my
is
eyes
this?
dropped to the source of the strange sound. Drops fell from the man's tiptoes and gathered in a small puddle underneath him. For some reason, there was a notebook lying in the puddle. From the moment I saw it, I felt intense electrical circuits running around through my brain. On the notebook's front cover, blurry at clear levels, was written, Ryoko Otonashi's memory notebook. There's just a dead body.
Okay.
There's a dead body.
Is it one of the old men from before, or what? Who is this? I mean, I don't want you to answer me, but, like, what the fuck?
This book's weird.
I like to imagine like you're playing Danganronpa and you get like the body discovery sequence and then it suddenly shows you the body and you're just like, I don't know who the fuck that is.
Who's this?
I'm like, wait, who's this? I'm sorry, do we know you?
Before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running, scattering tears and snot all around. While I was running, I wrote memories down in my notebook, but I quickly forgot why I was even running. I slowed my pace and looked down at the unfinished memory of the notebook. When I did, the recent memories resurrected my brain and screaming, I continued fervently dashing away from the central plaza. I climbed over the iron fence like a daredevil, and after running away some more, I finally found the school dormitory in front of me. I flew into the doors at top speed and headed straight to Masuda-kun's room. As far as I'm concerned, when faced with times like this, the only person I can remember, the only person I can rely on is Masuda-kun. As I ran through the corridor, slipping through my notebook in search of Masuda-kun's room, I recalled another memory that was written down in it. I am not allowed to visit Masuda-kun in his room without a good reason. But I did have a good reason right now. It was an unprecedented state of emergency, so I ignored the precaution. After flipping through the notebook some more, I finally remembered where Masuda-kun's room is and managed to get to it before I forgot again. Bang, 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 bang! As soon as I reached the door, I knocked on it with all my strength and screamed, Masuda-kun, it's terrible, it's terrible! No matter how long I waited, the door didn't show any sign that it was going to open. Masuda-kun, come on, Masuda-kun! I continued my insistent knocking. I knocked as if I were deranged, as if I was half crazed. I knocked and knocked and continued knocking, and after a while the door finally opened.
Honestly, who is this?
But the door that opened was the door to the room next door. Wait, huh? Oops. It was strange. There's no one here. The door was open, and I even heard a person's voice, but no one was there. Oh, this is what the other character that I mentioned. I think this is the little kid. Yeah.
Well, there's the little kid outside.
Yes, there's the kid.
Oh my god!
Katsuyo.
Oh my god.
Or Katsuyo.
I feel so bad for her.
She sounds so sad.
Okay, I think she's better. Okay, well, I'm skipping this song because it's fucking that execution, and I don't need to be reminded of that.
No, no one ever needs to be reminded of that.
What voice should we do here?
I have no idea.
Humph.
Yes, humph. Yes! Let's do it!
Okay. Let's do it! The voice that didn't get to be before after the Tristan voice, but the other voice that couldn't be. Hey, what's going on? You're being... That's terrible.
Oh my god. Do you want to take 5 and think about it? Because I have to go to the bathroom.
I don't want to take... Let's not do that voice, but I don't want to take 5. I think we should just call it a night then.
Okay.
This is kind of an awkward place to end, but you know what? Yeah. I guess that's gonna be enough for now.
Yes.
Because,
We've been doing this for 2 hours.
This is way too long, but I mean we got to the first body, so you know. Classic Danganronpa milestone.
Yes, we got to the first body.
So with that, I guess we're just gonna thank you guys all for watching, and we'll see you guys the next time when we'll continue through this mess because we still have like 200.
Like, you see what I mean, right?
209 pages. Oh my god. Oh.
It's so fucking long.
Like at least the other ones that we've read were like concise and like relatively like quick and painless. But like, oh my god.
Like, you see what I mean, right?
Yeah, I see it. I don't know when we're gonna continue this. I think I think what we should do is go ahead and upload the anime anyways, and just have this be its separate playlist.
Yes.
And just, like, have it be its own separate thing, because we're gonna have to eventually get through this thing, but, like, oh my god. This is gonna take forever.
I wasn't fucking with you when I said that this was, like, really difficult to sit through.
Like, it's not even, like, that difficult to sit through, it just takes forever.
It feels like nothing is happening.
Nothing basically is happening. I mean, it's like, well, go investigate the student. And then, like... Like, I mean, like, again, like, we got to the...
You guys want to see the dead body I found?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, we got to the, again, there's a reason that it's the milestone, usually, because it's where everything starts picking up. So at least I'm a little bit hopeful that it might. Hopeful, by the way. Looks at the Nagito picture up in the corner.
Yes.
But, yeah. This certainly is gonna be something. It's gonna take way longer. This is gonna take a while to get through. So I think I'm gonna just we made an attempt to get through this, so I'm gonna count that as a green light for uploading the reactions to the anime, which this is out or way outdate this anyways. So I honestly think it should be fine. We'll try to not cross-reference them too much, because we'll just kind of try to keep this its own separate entity without spoiling that, as we have been. But I think we should just go ahead and
see, like, if you're a Danganronpa fan, you already know about the anime, so, like, there's not much we could possibly spoil for you.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
with us, but, like,
well, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know if people, like, we have been doing this blind, so I don't know if there's been people who've been, like, going through this.
Yeah, that's the one caveat. I think that's the one thing.
And I mean, like, for the, like, two people, no people that are out there doing that exact thing, I feel like I should do that properly, but, like,
yeah, no, like, I'm not saying, oh, we should go out of our way to spoil the anime, but, like, you know, like, yeah, we should try not to. I agree.
I found out that apparently the events of this just kind of get glossed over in the anime, because there's apparently a clear point where this does take place, and it's just, like, there's just nothing, there's no mention of any of this, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
the anime sort of references it once, and it's a joke.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Okay.
When we get to that, character and that thing, I will explain. I think when we were watching it, I leaned over to you and I said, that's a Danganronpa Zero joke.
Oh, you might have. I don't know. Well, I haven't watched the thing or watched our reactions to it in a while. What I might do is I might, like, rewatch it once we're done with, like, I might rewatch it with our commentary.
Yes.
But we'll have to see. I was gonna, I'm trying to think of how I want to do the uploads anyways. This doesn't concern anybody that's watching this in the future, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just, like, have a video be like, hey, this is us watching it, because I don't know if, like... Do you think I should do, like, daily uploads for it, or should I just, like, dump them all on YouTube and have a video be like, hey, here's the playlist, go nuts?
No, I wouldn't upload them all at the same time.
Okay.
I definitely would not do that.
Okay, then I'm, maybe by the time that we get to the episodes in question that involve this, we might have gotten a little bit further than that, so...
Yeah.
Let's hope for that, but yeah, come March 1st, I will, officially start by, uploading this. So,
awesome.
Look forward to that, and for now, like I said before, thank you guys all for watching this beautiful infinite loop of Monokuma doing his sexy dance, and
yes.
We will see you guys all next time to find out what the dead body is, and not give the kid the Homestar voice, because I don't remember how to do it. I can't do random you can't do consistent lines in it. It just doesn't sound right. Like, even when...
Nah.
Even in that answering machine where he had, like, consistent lines, it didn't sound right because he's not supposed to have consistent talking.
No.
It just sounds wrong when he does.
It's just wrong.
Like,
yeah.
even the official one just doesn't sound right when he's talking in normal voices. So And I should probably attend to this cat because she's scratching at the door. So, with that,
Yes.
thank you guys all for watching. We'll see you guys all next time. I wholeheartedly
Meow.
agree.
Yes.
Okay, bye for now.